Can you make it bigger? Every
You need like a button
That's
just
gonna
for
be
that.
my sign off. Give me a break.
You can just time
welcome.
keyboard.
Look at hey, wait, go back. People didn't even get to see that's our new logo. How fucking cool is that? We had it designed by someone who specially does logos for a living. She's pretty awesome.
Oh shit! The bird did come in here.
Oh, there's a bird.
Yo,
in
the
here.
bird's hanging with us for the
All
podcast.
right, that's cool.
Oh,
All right,
right.
let's get back to the podcast. There's a bird here. Yay.
Go to the pod. I'll try to catch this bird live on.
I
air.
don't
Hello.
want it to like.
There we are. Hey everyone. Let's. All right, the bird's here. We got a bird. Yay. Okay. Anyway, welcome to the Absolute Vodka Presents Live at the Landis podcast, as we have every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. And special thank you to Michael Kelly Guitar Company, our other sponsor. Dude, why don't you just leave him alone? And now you made him go out there. Just leave him alone. Just let him live. He'll be fine.
Our bird friend is now in the theater.
Oh, then we don't have to worry about him.
Move, yeah.
Dude, I shot a bluebird at the range.
Only because
No,
you
fuck
don't
birds.
like robins.
Yeah, if he shoots some shit on my fucking car again, fucking shoot another fucking bird. Anyway, welcome back to the Absolute Vodka. Everybody does whatever the fuck they want podcast, and nobody fucking follows the thing. Hey, there's our sponsor, Absolute Vodka, $10 at the concessions downstairs in the wonderful theater that is the Landis. And again, thank you, Michael Kelly Guitar Company. You guys are amazing. Now I tried to get a hold of Uncle Steve from MichaelKellyGuitars.com. There, he is the head honcho.
Uncle Steve.
There he is. Uncle Steve sent this over. This is a new prototype that we're going to put out there. It's got a single coil. It's got a humbucker in it. It's a hollow body. Things move and pop and ping, and I'm not sure exactly, but this is a prototype of something that's coming up, and it looks like a Prince guitar to me.
I think it's gorgeous.
Isn't it gorgeous? It really is nice. So I really want to plug it in and play it and just see what it sounds like.
I think it's going to be cool.
What's the weight like on that thing?
It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
Because I know a lot of the ones that Michael Kelly's making are like.
Now, Steve, you were saying it's probably designed to sound like you're playing two or three different guitars.
Yeah, you've got a telly bridge, a humbucker up here, so you get your like Les Paul sounds and stuff, and then a coil taps, so you can get some Strat sounds. I think
and that's sweet.
On a hollow body, so
Isn't
that's
that
pretty damn cool.
Here, why don't you pull that one down?
Pretty
put
versatile
this one
guitar.
up there.
So if you're playing one of those venues,
hand me that one there. So let's put this new girl up there. I'm not sure what it's called. I'm not sure the model name because it was not on the box. Oh, this one just fell. I didn't put it in there all the way. That's why.
That one's a little heavier, I will say.
Yeah. Oh, dude, what a weight difference between these two guitars. Wow. And again, another gorgeous Michael Kelly guitar here. I mean, these guys really make some beautiful instruments, man. This reminds me a lot of the Fender line of guitars, of course. Oh, Lord, over there. Sit. Look at that. Oh, it looks good back there. Finally, something good looking on that side of the room. It's amazing. MichaelKellyGuitars.com. Thank you, Uncle Steve. We will talk about this. If we don't hear from him tonight, we'll get him on next week, and we'll talk about this new, absolutely amazing looking instrument that is behind us. Play Freebird. Oh, dude, you don't want me to play Freebird. It'll last for like 6 days.
We just
did it
freed
the
the
show
bird
the other day. Yeah, well, he's somewhere.
Yeah, we freed the bird.
Oh, no,
we got a free bird in here somewhere.
Right behind
he
us.
wants to be with us. Just let him be. Let him live in the room. He ain't gonna hurt anybody. I got a gun.
In Casey's head.
Anyway.
Yo, my hair is the perfect place for
it. It is definitely
man.
nestable. It is nestable. He's behind you. He's just checking you out from behind. It's all good. It's all good. Anyway, so this past weekend we had a couple great shows. We did have the Kevin gentleman in from the Desire band, and they played on Friday. And then Saturday we had the Street Fighter band in. I don't even know what to say, but they were the epitome of the live Rolling Stones.
They're the OGs, man. There's a reason they were the first one, you know.
When you see the Stones live, that's what they're like. I mean, they really do bring you the Stones live. I mean, it's weird because, you don't want that album for most bands. And the Stones have never played like they play on the album.
So I got to ask, the guitar player, any Keith Richards solo?
Oh, yeah. He played around.
Awesome.
He played around. And the gentleman up front did some wonderful Mick Jagger moves and all the old school stuff. And I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, they were pretty great.
What was his name? Pete?
Pete.
Pete.
Vareki.
Pete.
They were great.
Yeah, I
They
thought they
were
were fantastic.
fantastic.
Do you have any video of that or anything?
I do. I have 2. Do you want me to run them both?
Oh, hell yeah.
Cool.
Dude, they were good, man. They were good. Wait till you see them.
Sweet. Let's hit it.
Dude, that was great too. Beast
They
of
were
Burden.
great.
Again, reminded me of the Stones live. You had a little clip of Desire I saw there in the middle too. You want to go ahead and throw that up real quick?
I did.
Let people see how wonderful that was.
Those are my fat fingers.
Bob
I
Dylan
clicked
fans
it.
out there?
Sorry.
Empty-handed painter from your street is drawing crazy patterns on your sheets. The sky too is rolling under. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
All right, knocking on heaven's door like that bird soon. It's gonna be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Again, thank you to both bands for coming out. You know, it was a light night on Friday, but you know we picked it up on Saturday, and again this weekend's looking pretty good too. So
Killer, man. You got 3 kick-ass shows.
yeah,
this
oh, I
weekend.
know,
Yes,
man.
we
I'm
do.
tired already, and just thinking about it, man. It's gonna be one of those weekends. You want to hit those that read there, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of our new guitar here, now, I
yes,
wish
let
I
me
knew
give
what it
a
was called.
Thank you to our sponsor, Michael Kelly Guitars, and as always, Steve Pisani of Radio Flashback, the head honcho at Michael Kelly Guitars. You can check them out at www.michaelkellyguitars.com. They have electrics, acoustics, hybrids, and more, bringing you the best guitars in sound and style. And we also would like to thank Absolute Vodka, available now at our concession stand. We have our Mango Mule, Grapefruit Paloma, and Pineapple Martini. They are $10 a can. Look at those percentages and see our boy Andy for more.
Hell
You're
yeah.
paying $1%.
Yeah.
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 $1%.
Hell
They're
yeah.
basically
Great job.
they're basically like if you went to a bar and bought a double. You know,
Yeah,
that-
Heck
that's
yeah,
basically
man. They're
what it
good. The pineapple's delicious.
Yep.
Hit back.
Yep.
It hit the wall. Here it comes.
is.
There's the bird.
Baby.
Oh, shit.
Aw,
Mhm.
he's cute. Get my gun.
He is a cute little thing.
Yeah, he's gonna
You
be a dead little thing.
I
You
thought it was a
never
bat
know.
earlier, actually, because it was set, like hanging on the wall, like completely
Oh.
up on the wall.
See,
and
that
I
would have been
didn't-
cool. We keep him around for Ozzy's show.
I didn't know that
Have
birds could
Steve
do
bite
that.
its head off.
I'm gonna go open up that door downstairs. He's trying to find a way out. If I open that up, I
No,
can't see
no,
him.
you open that up, we're gonna have bums flying around here.
But I
Can
can
we
see him.
just do the fucking podcast and let the bird
Poor
go
bird.
until we're done?
I'm gonna text Rob. It's
Yeah.
karaoke.
Shit on
Thank
your
you.
desk.
And,
He's
have
gonna
to-
poop right on your desk. I just saw him flying
Oh
there.
Lord, he ain't getting in there.
He
There's a
can't get in
fucking plexiglass window.
There is an opening.
Aye.
Anyway,
You never
If
know
we
what
could
you're
just-
going to get on this show.
I'm telling you,
never
man.
know.
I just my fucking brain's hurting right now.
I was hoping at least it would have flown through frame. People just think we're insane at the moment.
Oh, you know what's coming up this weekend, by the way? Face
Membrane.
Value.
Oh,
Oh
dude.
man, it's the first time we've really had a Phil Collins guy in, with the exception of another band we had like in 2019 that came in and did their own little Genesis thing.
Mhm.
Dude, but I got to say, like, this is the first Phil Collins only that I've ever heard of. like usually, yeah, you get Genesis, but I haven't heard of many solo Phil Collins shows.
Well, it
coming
is
through.
Genesis and Phil Collins. It's not just Phil Collins. I mean,
Gotcha.
it's anything Genesis with Phil Collins. It's those years plus. Most of his big hits were off his solo albums.
Mhm.
Right,
I mean,
right,
he
exactly.
had huge hits off his solo albums. But we have a Real. They come in and they're doing all the early Genesis with, of course, he was part of that too.
Right.
But you had what's his name up front?
Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel up front, and then they do, of course, a lot of Gabriel stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to be able to have that little juxtaposition of
And it's
of
such
Genesis.
a distinct difference
Oh,
between
It's a total
Peter
different
Gabriel
band.
and Phil Collins.
Oh, it's a total different band. They went from, in my opinion, that I don't even know how to say it. They became pop. Let's just say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When Peter Gabriel, I don't want to put down anything because I mean earlier Genesis to me is phenomenal. I love it. I love Peter Gabriel, but
It's Broadway-esque with Peter Gabriel.
yeah,
Not so much with
Yeah.
Phil Collins.
yeah.
Wow, what? Phil
I-
Collins wrote Broadway musicals.
Yeah.
He did. He did.
But I mean,
You mean theatrical
in
ones?
was
the
more-
air tonight, you don't really think of as like
It was more of
the
storytelling.
grand production, like early
It's the
Genesis.
greatest drum fill in the history of all drum fill. Are
Absolutely.
you kidding me?
No, everyone knows that. But
I mean, there's not somebody.
the
who doesn't know.
original Genesis though was more of that storytelling Genesis. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
but and then it became more of the pop Genesis.
Mhm.
And I think his music was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the air tonight, that's a very theatrical song when you really think about
Well,
it.
yeah, and
Yeah.
dude, in the '80s, nothing beat Phil Collins' love song. You wanted to dance at your
Yeah.
high school dance.
He-
You were dancing to a
He
Phil
was number
Collins,
one on every
dude.
K-Tel album, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a I remember there used to be a commercial on all the time. You used to get like 15 cassettes of love songs, and it's like every dude who went through a breakup ordered that thing immediately. So
Trick of the Tail's great.
Trick of the
it's
Tail is
such
awesome.
such a good
Absolutely.
one. Such a good one.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so we have these guys should be on here shortly in a couple minutes. But they're doing now. I forget where they come out of. Do you remember where they're coming out of? Tennessee, somewhere down south.
Yes, I think they're from Tennessee.
Okay, excellent.
I
Another.
do have Joey on whenever.
Oh
whenever
well,
you're ready.
I'm ready to bring. We get a lot of great Tennessee.
My
bands.
second guess
Yeah.
was going to be Long Island.
Yeah, well,
It's a
Seems
safe.
like-
It's a good guess.
That's a safe
Yeah.
assumption. Yeah.
they're in Texas.
Yeah, right.
Or where the hell's Steve Desker from? Because he's got so many bands.
Hell.
PA somewhere.
I'm gonna play a quick promo and then I will.
Oh
put
hell
Joey on.
yeah! Let's
Yeah.
put it on.
Joey is their drummer who sings.
Oh,
Oh.
so he is their Phil Collins.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because Phil Collins is a drummer who sings.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Oh,
that's
I'm
why I
excited
wrote that
for
on
this
the
now.
paper.
Ah, glad it's
All right.
Face Value, a tribute to Phil Collins. America's top tribute to Phil Collins and Genesis gives audiences an incredible live experience that brings to life the great hits of two chart-topping bands. Using some of Nashville's finest touring musicians, Joey Simonton helps to recreate the music that dominated the airwaves for 2 decades.
And this video.
That was
Hey.
awesome.
He
He
Yo,
looks like
buddy.
Phil,
Look
man.
at that transition.
How you doing, Joe?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Oh man, that was a great promo, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
We're
dude.
really excited for this weekend.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. We were just talking about we have another Genesis band that comes in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Real, but they only do Peter Gabriel and they do all the early Genesis. You're
Right,
doing Phil
okay.
Collins and so it's a cool juxtaposition of the
Yeah.
two. And we've never had anyone doing
Mhm.
new Genesis and from like of course like the Abacab album was huge.
Right.
I mean,
right.
that was such a big album. And you
Yeah.
look at Phil Collins had so many great solo hits.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing the huge catalog that we have to pull from, and so many great hits from both Phil Collins era Genesis and his solo career. It's amazing.
It is.
I mean, we usually do about 24 songs in the sets, but we could easily do 40 and people would know all of them.
That's right. Isn't that crazy? When there's so many bands, like I think I've mentioned this before on this show. I remember years ago going to see Starship, and somebody's like, "Oh, let's go see Starship." I don't want to fucking see Starship. Who cares about Starship? I knew every song they played.
I was like that with Foreigner.
Every single song they played.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know that was a
We had
Starship
Starship
song.
currently
Yeah,
singing
we actually
Starship.
the girl who's currently singing with Starship was here with her other
Oh,
band.
cool. Okay.
She's phenomenal. But it was just funny because I'm like, I didn't realize they did all these songs. But Phil Collins, I know, because I grew up with Phil Collins through
Yeah.
the '80s, and I absolutely love everything he's ever done. And
Nice.
his videos were the best videos.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Remember
and a lot of those
Land of Confusion.
Land of Confusion was one of the best videos ever made.
Yeah, definitely. And I say something about that during our set because I've got some video playing, during our concert behind us, and part of that is the clips from that video, and from the early days of MTV, that was just a really iconic, memorable video.
Yep.
So
Yep.
people who haven't seen that, it's been 35 years since we've seen that video. Or
Oh
more,
yeah.
but we still remember it well.
Oh, you remember a lot of that. And then what was the film? Remember the one film he did the theme for? It was a really good film.
He did a bunch of movies.
No, what was the one from the '80s? He did oh man, why can't I think of it right now?
Against All Odds.
Against All Odds.
Yeah,
Yes.
Against All
Yep.
Odds. That was another one of those just classic songs, man.
Sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I mean, the movie was good. It was okay, but that song,
yeah.
it made them. And I don't think they played it till the end of the
You
movie.
know what's
if I remember
wild?
correctly.
He's only one of 3 musicians to ever sell 100 million plus records, both as in a band and a solo artist.
Oh, yeah.
I
Who do
believe
you
that.
think the other 2 are?
Yeah,
Oh.
and he's actually nearing 150 million now, which is crazy.
Really?
Big,
Wow.
huge.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who else?
John Lennon,
Paul McCartney
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney, I can see.
and Michael Jackson as part of the Jackson 5 and
Oh,
his
yeah,
own solo
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Huh.
Paul McCartney, that was really with the Wing. Paul McCartney and the
Yeah.
Wing. See, I don't consider that I consider that like the band.
Yeah.
And then he became Paul McCartney. You
Well,
know?
like Phil Collins, you don't expect, like, when you think Genesis, you don't just think Phil.
yeah.
Like, he sold 100 million both solo and with Genesis.
See, when I think Phil Collins, I think more of the solo than I even do the Genesis stuff. I really do, because to
Yeah.
me, the biggest album Phil Collins himself had leading Genesis was, of course, the Abacab album.
Oh, yeah.
Everything after that was really Phil Collins. It was all his stuff that was nailing hits left and right. You know.
So I got to ask you, because you're such a, obviously, but huge Phil Collins fan, do you
Yeah.
play drums at all?
I do play drums.
Oh.
Actually,
Do you
I
have
started
double
out-
drums?
What's that?
Do you have double drummers?
We do.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yes.
That's
We're-
Just like
yeah,
Phil.
This
That's
is
awesome.
we try to be as authentic, as we can. Actually, my drummer was actually one of the guys who called me for the keyboard position when I was advertising. And by the time he got back with me, I was like, man, dude, sorry, I've already got a keyboard player. He was like, well, if you happen to need a drummer, I happen to be a drummer too. I was like, man, I got a drummer. He said, okay, well, if anything happens, keep me in mind. I'm left-handed, and I've got an exact Gretsch single-headed tom replica drum
Wow.
set. I'm like,
Oh,
dude,
wow.
okay, I'll keep you in mind. 2 weeks later, my drummer called and said, dude, I just can't do it. I'm going on tour with so-and-so. So I called John immediately, and he's been with me from the first show.
Wow.
Awesome.
And how long you guys been together?
Coming up on 2 years.
Oh, okay. So you're fairly
6th.
new.
Yeah. And we're all based in the Nashville, Tennessee area.
Okay. Now is everybody pretty much? I always ask people because you're doing, like, we had a Rolling Stones tribute in here this past weekend. They were phenomenal. They actually started together in 1978,
Wow.
and they were one of those original tribute acts in the area.
Wow. That's
And so they're true Stones fan. I will tell you too. What's funny is you talk about like Phil Collins. Like today, I drove 40 minutes listening to Spotify Rolling Stones and didn't hear one song that they played.
Wow.
That's
yeah.
how many
Wow.
hits the Stones have.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's how much music their catalog is so huge, and they're still putting out albums that sound
And
just
they're-
as good as they
And
did.
they're still touring.
Yes, yeah. I think their tour just started, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
yeah.
believe so. Yeah.
And they're selling albums that sound just as good as
It's
the albums
amazing.
they've been making
Yeah.
for the past 30 years.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Now,
Past
I know
50
Phil-
years.
Yeah. Phil Collins now hasn't been doing very well physically. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, he retired, I guess, 2 years ago, March. And for the past several years, I guess since about 2017 or so, you know, he's been having some real mobility issues, some nerve damage in his back. But in about 2016, his son, Nick, took over the drum duties. So Phil was just out front. But the past 3 or 4 years, he was doing concerts in a chair.
Why can't we leave this alone?
And sounding phenomenal, you know.
Yeah.
It didn't affect his voice at all, but yeah, he's hurting physically, but man, he can still sing.
Yeah, well, I remember his tour starting, and I was seeing a lot of things about it, like like things weren't going
He
well.
was sitting on a stool. At the
Yeah,
front of the
there was some issues
stage
even with like the screens in the back and stuff like that. It was like it was a lot of like, and it was sad to me because, like I said, you hate to see your heroes,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, and people that you truly love their music. You hate to see them that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It just,
and it all stemmed, I think, he says, from, you know, decades of drumming, and then he started having back problems, and he had an operation, and I think during one of his operations he suffered some neurological damage, and just never healed. But you know, as a singing drummer, I definitely was drawn to him in my early when I started playing, because I started singing when I was, you know, 3 or 4 years old, but I didn't start playing drums until I was about 13. But you know, when I was 13, it was late 70s, and you know, he was hot and heavy with Genesis, and then in the early 80s his solo career started, and he started doing a lot more. It was a lot different from Genesis stuff.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Oh,
And then
yeah.
he started incorporating the horn section and percussion and just the
I
amazing
think-
harmonies.
I think the horns took him over the top. I think
Yeah,
that's.
yeah.
I mean, he was already
Yep.
great, and then all of a sudden he brought these horns in, and you're like, wait a minute, now this is
Speaking of
freaking
which, you know,
awesome.
when we watched your promo, that was one of the first things that I said to these guys was, look at those horns. So you guys come with the horns included.
Absolutely.
No,
Yep.
you have to. I feel like you would have to. Yeah.
We actually offer two bands, you know, the 10, 11 piece show band with a full horn section, percussionist,
Yep.
background
Wow.
singers. And
Killer.
for smaller venues, we've done a couple shows without the horns and using tracks, you know, for the horns, but it's just not the same. When
Yeah.
you got a wall of horns behind you, it's powerful. It really is fun. So this year so far, all the shows I've booked are show band with our horn section. So
That's
gonna be
good.
big fun.
And how long has that horn section been with you guys? Like how did you find these guys? I mean,
Man.
that's a lot of pieces. man.
Golly, it's, you know, I've owned businesses in the past and still own businesses, and this is like starting another company and dealing with personnel. So, you know, I've always wanted to be, you know, in front of a big band. I've played in, you know, big band in college and jazz bands and horn bands back home in West Virginia. But when I started this, I was like, man, it's probably going to be a lot of logistics and stuff. And it is difficult. It's like herding 10 cats each time. So, you know, we've got top-notch touring players with us. And of course, you know, we have to have subs for everybody. And that's difficult. So it's really something that I got to stay on top of and, you know, communicate with everybody. And once I get a contract, I'm like, I ask everybody, you know, who's in, you know, make sure you let me know, make sure you have a sub in case something happens. Last month we played a gig up in Cleveland in about 3 hours, and I had to get all 3 of our horns were subs. One was from Nashville and 2 were from up there. So I'd never met them. We never rehearsed. Sent them the music a couple of weeks in advance. You know, I knew they were top level readers.
Yeah.
Wasn't worried about it. So about 3 hours from me getting to Cleveland, the trombone player said, "Hey man, I just got off a 7-day cruise. I'm sick as a dog, can't make it, but I've got a sub lined up." So the sub for my sub showed up, and they crushed it. They crushed it. So
But you have, as long as you showered a lot when you before and after Cleveland. Cleveland is
it's nerve wracking, you know, getting people to rehearsal and dealing with people's schedules. You know, a lot of these guys are have opportunities to go on the road quite a bit. So it's a lot of logistics and a lot of phone calls and emails and texting and forgetting and make sure you write this down.
So I guess so you have all the music kind of laid out. So if you need a sub, people know exactly what they're playing, which is easier to read music on of course like that than it is to be a band and try to connect and gel.
And most most top level horn players
can read and play anything.
Sight readers,
Yep.
So and especially around Nashville, you got so many top notch musicians to choose from.
Yep.
So I'm humbly and gladly the worst guy in the band, and it makes me feel great knowing that this wall of sound behind me has my back, and they know their parts, and everything is going to be cool. Even when I get subs,
I can't wait.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun.
It's going to be a good show. So what was the first album that Gabriel was gone and Collins took over the fronting the band of Genesis? Do you remember? Do you remember that?
So Trick of the Tail.
I think
the first one was Trick of the Tail. Yes,
it was.
Gabriel left in '75.
Oh, see, I didn't think he left that early. Yeah.
Yeah. And Trick of the Tail came out in
76.
6 or 7.
Yeah. That makes sense
February
then. Okay.
13th.
I knew it was right before the 80s. I knew it was right before the 80s.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was Trick of the Tail. I thought there was another album in there somewhere.
Like for me, I was born in 75. I mean, I'll be 50 next year. I was born in 75, and that was all I knew of Genesis was Phil Collins.
Yeah.
So growing up, that was all I knew. And I got to say, one of the greatest things that I love about Phil Collins is how consummate of a father he is. How much of a positive like male influence that guy is. Because I took my son, he was 10. When I got married, back in 2007, Genesis had gotten back together for the first time in like forever. And we had second level seats. We went up, we were coming out of the bathroom. Guys like, are you a Genesis fan? I was like, his name's Colin for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They upgraded us to second row, like center stage. It was the closest I ever was. And I find out later that Phil Collins doesn't like getting the hot girls to move them up. He takes families and moves them up. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah, I think that's fucking stupid, but besides, that's my fucking thing. But apparently you weren't wearing that dumb hat you wear all the time either, because that would have fucking thrown you out of the stadium. That's a good story, actually. That's actually really nice. No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I did, that's literally the opposite of most bands. Who the fuck, oh my God. I've done movies and TVs my whole life. That's what I did before I bought this place. And then I bought this place, and now here we are. But it was who's the country singer? I did all his stuff for.
Jason Aldean.
No, not Aldean.
Just everyone keep naming them until we get there.
Why? Why can't you?
Wasn't it Blake Shelton?
No, I did I did Blake Shelton. Brad Paisley. I directed a couple of music videos for Blake Shelton stuff. But Brad Paisley, I did Brad Paisley's full tour.
Really?
All the video for his one
Brad
tour.
Paisley,
oh, dude, it was a great tour. Oh, he's great. He's funny. It's hilarious.
Phenomenal guitarist.
So we did all the video and all the stuff.
Guitar player.
And I finally got to go to the show and see my work, at the show. So I go to the show, and there's his dad. And his dad's got these beads, just like they have in New Orleans, right? And his dad's going out and find the biggest boobs he can find. And he's putting necklaces on, and they're the girls that are allowed to come up front.
Jeez.
This is his dad. And I remember looking at his wife. I looked at his wife. I said, she goes, yeah, that's my father-in-law. I'm like, oh, Lord, man.
Wow.
He goes and picks the winners, man.
Wow.
He'll go out in the parking lot. He don't give a shit. He'll literally go out in the parking lot. Go, here, this is for you.
If your son becomes Jason Aldean,
It's not Jason Aldean.
Or
Brad
Paisley, and you get that type of authority.
Yeah, Brad's a great guy too. He's
it.
got a great personality, a wonderful person. He's another guy from down there in Tennessee. I went down there and worked with him down there.
Oh yeah,
So-
you say you worked with Blake also?
Yes, I have. Yep, I did a couple music videos and stuff with him.
Funny, my buddy from West Virginia, who was a trumpet player in the jazz band at college with me in the early '90s, he moved down to Nashville in '95 and started playing with Blake Shelton, playing bass. In '95, and has been with him ever since.
Wow.
He's another one of those guys that's just the nicest guy, funniest guy, always cracking jokes.
Mhm.
And I worked on one a video called Boys Round Here. I directed on that, and had his ex, and let me tell you, I couldn't stand that
My
woman.
wife loved
Oh,
that
I
song.
hated her with a passion. The second they broke up, I was the happiest man alive. I'm like, it was horrible working with her. That was like working with the devil. She didn't want to be there. He didn't want her there. It was a mess. It was a mess. But I'm happy now. He's with what's her face? I really like her. What's Gwen Stefani?
Yeah, they performed at Coachella with No Doubt for the last time ever.
Really? Well, yeah, she's a wonderful person. I even watched. He's got a TV show out now with her.
Oh, really?
They have they own a bar somewhere, I guess, down in Tennessee somewhere, and they
were on The Voice together, weren't they? Or one of them shows.
Yeah,
I think that's where they met, I believe.
Voice, yeah, that's where they started dating, I guess.
But no, they have a show. He owns a big bar somewhere down.
Well, he
down
owns several.
south.
They're called
Yeah.
Big Red.
Yeah, one of
There's
them's
one here in
huge.
Nashville. There's Orlando, and
The Nashville one they made a TV show about, and it's huge, and they do nothing but bar games, and that's what the TV show is about. But they do
that's brand new,
everything they do is like on this grand scale, though. They don't just play whatever the game is, but it's hilarious to watch. It's actually, I think they're on the second season now. But I really like her. I really like her a lot. So I'm glad he ended up with her. But that's cool. So you've known this guy for all this time, and here he is with Blake now on tour.
Yeah. Yep. He's his musical director, and he lives about 30 minutes from me. But
oh wow,
it's amazing the amount of people I know from West Virginia that came down here in the early to mid 90s and started doing the grind, and busting tables and washing cars and all this stuff while trying to pursue music. And so many of them, went on to play with, Blake, and actually my percussionist spent 17 years on the road with Tim McGraw. My friends from West Virginia played with Keith Urban and Dixie Chicks and Michael McDonald, and it's weird. And you'll see
one
them
of those
on TV
areas.
And they're like, "Oh, hey, there's Robbie, honey."
Yep. Well, that's one of those areas where musicians. I've probably told all the musicians I know in the past probably 15 to 20 years, don't go to LA, go down to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because you're going to find more. So I have a friend. I'm not going to mention her name, but her sister went on American Idol. And she was playing backup guitar, and I'll never forget old what's her name there? That I can't think of that girl's name that was on the show at the time. Told her, she said, "Hey, you playing the guitar?" She goes, "Why don't you come up and let me hear you?" And she's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And then they chose her to go on the show, and she chose not to go on the show so her sister could get. I'm like, "You're an idiot." Mm-hmm. And guess what? She's playing right now in a bar in the airport in Tennessee. Man. And let me tell you, the girl had a career. She threw it right down the toilet for her sister that couldn't sing.
You're not making it in rock music anymore. It's all country. It's all country.
Country makes it because there's a following and there's a lot of big concerts, outdoor things that happen, stuff like that. I mean, and the rock is just it's unfortunately fallen off, but I feel like it's coming back. I mean, we sell out a lot of rock shows here.
Good.
We're getting a lot of kids at rock shows. We have the School of Rock kids that actually come and play here several times a year.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, and they're really into it. So I think it's got to turn around.
Yeah,
I think it's got to turn around. Yeah. Everything comes and goes. It has its little waves.
It's cyclical. And the thing about I think what makes country so big now is the newer country is it's rock and roll also. It
really is. It really is.
There's a big crossover. They can go play straight up honky tonk country bars, or they could go play a rock bar. So they've kind of got more choices as far as venues than a straight up rock and roll band.
And then you got some of your old rockers doing country because
Well, you even have like there's a hip hop fusion to country.
Hip hop they call it.
Yeah,
hip hop.
I mean, there's like it really does. I mean,
Beyonce just did a country album.
Yeah, you believe that?
Yeah. And then
I was actually in a hip hop band back in West Virginia for a few months. They were called the Whips, and they were straight up rocking, man. It was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So this is your only band that you have going right now, though, right?
This week.
This week.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not pursuing another band right now just because this one takes so much time. But I would like to add another tribute or two that I can also market. I'm thinking about doing something with Tina Turner tribute or something like that. But this takes so much time. It'll be a year or two before I think of anything else. And occasionally I'll do a pickup gig. My friends will call me and ask if I want to play, and that's fun a couple times a month. But I just don't have time to go downtown. And Nashville is amazing because you could go downtown on a Monday morning at 11 o'clock, and there are literally 50 bands starting at their 11 o'clock shift.
Wow.
It's just mind blowing. Now, if you go down on a Saturday night, then you've probably got about 180 bands to choose from, because a lot of these bars have 2 or 3 levels and a different band on each bar, and then a rooftop bar, and it's just amazing. But it's all in a 5 or 6 block area, and
it's a shame because I have a lot of friends down there, and the problem is they don't make a lot of money.
It's like the Hillbilly
That's
Sunset
the problem.
Strip.
Luckily, the cost of living isn't crazy, but it's I have friends that there's probably my one friend Carly. She lives with 10 other musicians. Because
that's the thing. Competition is crazy down here. So a lot of bands will go down. They know they're only going to get a base pay of $40 a man, but if they market that tip jar, that's where they make their money in these bars downtown.
Exactly.
And, I've watched a band in an hour and a half make $800 in tips, because if you request a song, it's going to be $20. But if you request something like Freebird or something like that, well, it's $100 song, and you'll have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people throwing in money to pull together to because they're all down here for a good time. So if the bands market it correctly and they've got a repertoire of,
smart.
Most of these guys and gals playing downtown, they know 250, 300 songs. They have to.
Up here now they have QR codes, so you just scan the QR code. You text them what song you want, and they go, "All right, we're doing this for so and so."
Absolutely,
that's a doing pianos, guys.
Yeah, you don't even need cash anymore. You just Venmo them the money.
Yeah,
but look,
that's part of the marketing down here, because who'd have thunk 10 years ago you're going to have be able to do that with your band and make tips. It's awesome.
Well, let me remind everyone again, real quick, that's tuning in, and the people that are tuning in throughout the week. It's Face Value. It's a tribute to Phil Collins and Genesis, to Phil Collins' years. And I feel like a lot of, that those years were Phil Collins. It's Friday, May 3rd. Doors open at 7. Show starts at 8 p.m. The tickets are still on sale at the landistheater.com. I would get your ticket. This is going to be a good show. And this is something, again, we've had a lot of stuff here at the theater. That we've had repeat shows, brought people back. This is our first Phil Collins Genesis show in our 5 years of ownership and running the place. So I'm excited for it. I really am, because, like I said, I'm a big fan of his music, and I'm a big fan of his music. And on top of that, it's one of those things where, again, I do all the video here. So and it's not just a video screen here. You're going to find out when you get here. We have several video screens. We have video on the walls. It's like the mini sphere here.
Nice.
So things like In the Air tonight are going to look pretty damn good. I would tell you to bring a video camera.
I hear you. Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Where are you getting?
When I first put this band together and started looking at venues, the Landis Theater kept popping up on my feed. So, for a year, I was like, man, gotta get in that place. And,
awesome.
and then I started seeing all my other friends and tribute bands. They said, man, you got to play the Landis.
We've had several good Tennessee bands coming up. We have a Tom Petty tribute that comes up. We had a Journey
accents, baby.
Journey one. Yep.
Seven
Bridges comes up.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they're on our schedule again for this year. They're phenomenal.
Good.
Yep. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Well,
I'm going to put it this way: where are you getting this amount of music? I mean, the wall of sound, like he said, with the horn section, and I mean, for the price that you're paying, and you're up close to the stage, and you got free parking, and I'm telling you, I mean, show up early, get a bite to eat.
We have no fees here, so we're feeless. Right. Taxes are included in your ticket. We try to do everything we can with free parking and everything to really entice people to just come to the place and give it a shot. And I will tell you, I've yet to find anyone that has come here and didn't like it. Now every once in a while we call them the blue hairs, and they turn it up a little too loud or whatever, and they'll come back and I'm like, well, you sat in front of the speaker, right? You're literally sitting in front of the sub. It's in front of you,
down.
But it's hilarious. But we'll move them to the back. And we had one lady come in. She complained, but she came back and she said, best show I've ever seen. She goes, the first time I sat in the front row on the right next to this big speaker. She goes, this time I sat over here by you guys, and it was the best show I'd ever seen.
Nice.
So it depends what you like. You want your hair to move a little bit like the old ads. What was that? Remember that?
What was
Memorex,
that,
baby.
Memorex.
Yeah, Memorex. You want your hair to blow back, you sit up front. If
So
not, you sit in the
what?
back.
Can you say it one more time?
Memorex?
Yeah, one more time.
What?
The Mamorax?
Oh no.
Sorry.
Oh
Is it
man.
live or is it
He was
memorized?
right.
I will
Yeah.
never forget. when
Memorex.
Is it live?
They did that shit on Jackass.
Oh yeah, they were the yeah.
Ronald
Remember
went to
that?
it.
I do
Oh,
remember
man,
that. It
this
was
is the
really
greatest
cool.
thing ever.
But we are gonna we've got 3 shows this weekend actually, and we have another one coming up, and we've got to get over to them. Joe, it's been a pleasure talking to you, my friend.
Man, thank you.
It really
guys and
has. It
gals.
really has.
We appreciate your time, and we're really looking forward to this.
Yeah,
weekend.
I can't wait.
Absolutely.
Look, safe travels getting here. We look forward to meeting you in person. And again, Steve is your light guy. I'm your video guy, and our sound guy Bob is he will be here, our front of the house and our back of the house guys. You'll be very happy. Like I said, we've got a
Awesome.
stellar crew, and we have the top notch facility to really put on a great show for you. So.
Man, we are really looking forward to it. So
Yeah, we're looking forward
we-
to it too. I'm excited. This is my
Yeah.
kind of music, so I'm really excited.
awesome. Good deal. Well, we'll
All right,
see
Joe.
you guys in a few days.
All right,
Take
brother.
care.
Again, safe travels. We'll
All
see
right,
you when you
let's
get here.
All
All right.
See
Hey,
you
everyone, that is Face Value, a tribute to Phil Collins. It's Friday, May 3rd, this Friday. Doors open as always at 7. Show starts at 8. Again, tickets are still on sale and available. You really want to get tickets to
So
this, man.
stoked for this.
You
Great
really
thing,
want to
I,
see this, man. I just watching that little, and a lot of times the clips that they send you, their little packages aren't that great.
Right.
And what we have to do is kind of look past that and say, all right, well, should we give them a chance? Like we have a couple bands we've done it too, but their package was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it really sounded good from
They
the get
seem
go.
to they seem
yeah.
to have it down.
Yeah, so
which I like.
And he
we gotta
resembles
find out.
Phil Collins. He
Yes.
I mean, once you put the lights on him,
You're
and
just
you-
we're trying to say he's bald. Can we bring him back and let's make fun of his
Hey,
head?
Paul.
Do you-
no,
do
I'm
you,
just saying, face wise, he kind of resembles Phil Collins.
Do you-
No, he does. He
Yeah.
really does. He
Do
really
you think
does.
you can guess Ray's favorite Trick of the Tail song?
Yeah,
It's the weirdest one.
weirdest one.
Yeah.
I got to remember what.
And
what's
thinking
on
that that's
album.
Phil Collins is the craziest shit.
Yeah.
It blows my mind every time. That's Phil
you're-
Collins, and now he started out.
Well, it's true because again, you got to remember he was trying to step in the shoes of
Yes.
Gabriel, and Gabriel is
Yep.
out there.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, any of
Yes.
Gabriel's albums,
Yes.
you remember Phil Collins became this pop sensation.
Not Squonk.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Is it Squonk?
Oh yeah.
Gabriel had a few hits, but nothing like now.
Yes.
And remember, Gabriel's hits also came from those MTV videos.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sledgehammer, that one album was
yeah.
huge
Oh,
for
yeah.
him. That I think was So or something like that. I forget which
Yes,
album that
so
was.
was big. Yeah.
But he had all those other. But Phil Collins, every album was a hit. Man.
Yeah.
Everything he did was a hit.
I mean,
Soundtracks, whatever he
Genesis
How
did.
many
Follow You,
Disney
Follow Me,
movies
you know.
included
Oh,
Phil
Phil
Collins?
Collins,
I mean,
yeah.
come on, he was everywhere.
Paper
Yeah.
Late.
Oh,
Yeah.
another great song. Well, that was I think that was Abacab, Paper Late.
That was
yeah.
Abacab, yeah.
That was such a great album too. I love that album. That was just so you know.
Look, I like it all.
That's
honestly,
when
you know.
I didn't mention it to him. I hate because I feel like I blow my horn sometimes. But my uncle,
Yeah.
he opened for Genesis back in the day, and
That's
that was one of those. That was one of those things for us. So it was kind of really cool. And that was at JFK Stadium again.
Yeah.
So back to JFK.
I want to say,
yeah.
as a youngin,
Wish I
like
knew
I
that.
said, being born when I was, the very first Genesis album that made an imprint on me was Invisible Touch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that was the
Yeah.
first one that I really remember.
That's also got
Again
some
with
songs
3 or 4 big hits on it.
Yeah.
I mean everything
Yeah.
Phil did was like it was like gold, man. He had the golden touch, man. It's a shame to see what he's going through, and I
Yeah.
hope he's not suffering in any way. You
I
know,
hope they played that.
really-
Like I said, I was able to
There's so
go
many
to that
I
songs.
love doing lights for that song.
that
so many songs.
2007 reunion show. They were supposed to have had at that time the biggest video wall ever created.
Mhm.
and it was nothing
was
but problems.
insane.
Though they were like if you go online, you'll see there's a lot of video issues. There's a lot of issues with that tour.
The one thing that
Yeah.
I thought was cool was he would go backstage. Phil Collins would go backstage, and I remember Mama in particular, and he would make like faces to.
Oh, yeah, to the
I
camera. Yeah, it
love
was really
that
cool.
Stuff,
Yeah,
man.
that was
Throwing
really
it all
cool.
away in Land of Confusion.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Land of
That was such a
Confusion,
great
yeah.
album. Again, one of my favorite videos. The puppets in that were just the greatest thing ever.
But not only was it a cool video, it was an impactful video. It really made a statement at
Yeah.
that time. I mean, as far as everything that was going on with the Cold War and all.
Well, let's move forward
Yes.
to our next read there, if you want, real quick, Steve, because we do have 3 bands this week,
Yes.
and so we got to move on, man. Normally
going
we
on.
have time, but yeah, we love. Well, it's gonna be a fun talk next week after we see him. So.
Yes. Next weekend, upcoming, our shows are as following. May 10th, we have the Original Rockers,
Yes.
Nazareth.
Ooh.
And
Love
you know 'em, you
hurts.
love them. Love hurts, but you want to come see it.
Hair of the Dog's even.
Oh,
Hair of the
like
Dog
a-
is a
like
fantastic
son of a
song.
bitch, baby.
They have a couple
Now
songs that I
you're
feel like
messing with
they're one of those bands that people don't realize that it's them.
That you know every
You know,
yeah.
but definitely
Yep.
go out and
Yep.
look into Nazareth, and I guarantee you know a bunch of these damn songs.
And just so we'll throw it out there, as we become ghosts, the local opener is going to open up. But they had
Really? That's killer.
Yeah, Mickey and the boys are going to open up the Nazareth
I'm
show. It's going to
excited
be a lot of
even
fun.
more now. That's
'Cause
awesome.
I think they're a good match. I think they're a good match with Nazareth.
absolutely.
Music-wise, yep.
Yeah, I saw they
That's what
posted about having a big announcement. I was
Yeah.
like, huh.
And I haven't seen them since they played here and did the Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Yep.
For the-
Yeah,
for the
they
It's
did.
going to be a lot of fun having them back. I love
Yes,
those guys.
There it is. Nazareth
Special guest.
with
Hell
special
yeah.
guests as we become ghosts. That is May 10th at 8 p.m. Tickets are on sale. May 11th, Speedwagon, the REO Experience, and
There they
Best Shot, the Pat Benatar Experience, also coming up. As always, that show is at 8 o'clock. May 17th, Sir Paul, a dedication
I'm
to Paul
excited for that
McCartney.
one, too.
Very excited for that one. That's going to be great. May 18th, a Night of Sabbath, the Dio and Ozzy
we
years
still don't
featuring
understand
just
that show.
Sabbath and Ultimate Live Evil.
Double the
Two
Sabbath.
bands, two
Double the
paychecks,
Desco.
one singer, baby.
2 bands tributing 1 band. It's going to be amazing. You don't want to
I
miss it.
fucking
2
love
bands
it.
for 1 band.
I love it. May
Oh,
24th,
man.
Sir Elton, the Elton John Experience featuring Lance Millard.
Another one I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to.
Yes.
We've never had an Elton other than
Or Paul McCartney.
than the Twins, right?
Yeah,
They
that's
did a
you're
little
right.
bit of
That's
it,
that's
but
literally
that
it.
was
That's
really it.
literally it.
May 31st, a night with Michael Franzese. Do we know how to say his last name? I know.
I believe that's it.
they say them all different ways. I've heard Franzese.
All
I'm
I
sure
can tell you
it's
is
a
the
way.
guy's badass. I can't
Yes,
read the
from
way-
Mob Boss
Yeah.
to Wine Boss. Friday, May 31st at 7
That's going to be a
p.m.
lot of fun.
At 7. Tickets are on sale now. Public VIP seats, additional meet and greets available, and additional wine tasting available
Yes.
of Michael Franzese.
He is a mob
Armenian
boss.
wines.
He's a mob boss that became a wine man, and he is going to have his wines. We're going to have wine tasting. There's his book right there, too.
Yes.
The Blood Covenant. Oh, man. This is
It's a
sounds like a good movie.
pretty sick title.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
The story of the Mafia Prince. Oh, this is going to be a fun night, man. This would be a fun night.
Hell yes. And then June 1st, Facelift, the Alice in Chains Experience, and Almost Creed, the Creed Experience.
Yes, that's going to be a
Let's
lot of fun, too.
Go Butt Rock Lives.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's your area, ain't it?
Hell yeah, baby.
I do have New York's finest.
Hell yeah.
And the sidecars band on if you guys are ready.
Oh, hell yeah. Wait,
Yes.
we're going to do them all together?
Yes.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Oh, you're going to make this nice and confusing.
Hey,
yeah.
the more the fun.
No, we band to band would have been. Well, let's just do it. Let's just do what we got. We never
Let's
did.
embrace the
band.
chaos.
We got the police cars coming on.
Do we got them there? That's so that is the Police Cars Tour. That's actually kind of cool. These guys are doing a
That's
little.
super cool.
I guess they're doing a couple shows, not just our place. So it's New York's finest, a tribute to the police who have played here before, and they are fucking
They're
awesome.
incredible.
Thank you so
They are
much.
so
Really,
good.
really good.
And then the Sidecars band. It's a new band for us here, a tribute to the Cars. You know, I'm a big Cars fan too. I mean, this is all my music back then. So I'm looking forward to hearing them as well.
Who's
But
going to drive you, huh?
I can tell you that this is one of the best police and Sting tributes out there, man. I mean, these guys are good. They're really
Yes.
good. Let's get them on. There you. There
Hey,
you are.
guys.
What's going on, guys?
Hey,
How you
how's it
doing,
going?
brother?
What's going on? Hey,
How's
everyone.
it going, man?
Good,
How you
good.
guys doing tonight?
Doing well. Great show tonight.
Yeah, we're looking forward to you guys this weekend. This is cool. Now, you guys doing let's see. One of our guys is saying the Police Sting tribute is spot. Joe Morrison got to see you guys last time you were here with the New York's finest, and he's right with me. He loved it, man. He thought it was such a great show.
Oh yeah, no,
Yep,
Joe is Joe Morrison sends us messages all the time online on our social platforms. He's such a fan, and thank you, Joe, for the compliments. It's a pleasure.
He's
know,
been
to hear.
begging to have you back.
Oh,
Begging to have you back.
It's great to return. Thanks for having us back. We love the Landis. It's such a beautiful venue. It's going to be a fantastic show, and the sidecars are going to rip it up. It's going to be
Now,
awesome.
are you guys doing other shows together, or is that because is that like a thing you're doing right now? You guys,
Yeah.
together,
You know, this is the brainchild of Joe Leo. Really,
Yep.
Joe Leo of the sidecars came up with this concept.
Police cars, man. I love it.
Exactly, Joe. You know I love you, brother.
You're the man, bro.
How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. I miss you, man. How you been?
I'm all right, man. I've been going through some health issues, but I'm alive still. I haven't died yet, so.
Hang in there. We need you. We need you, Ray. Hang in there.
Dude, I'm excited because let's see. Last time I saw you, we were with, was it the Poison Band or something?
You know what? The Poison Band was there recently, but we met in person last
the
time.
the last Get
Battle
Poison.
of the Bands.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It was the Battle of the Bands. That's right, that we had last year. And you were blowing me up about this Cars tribute. I'm a big Cars fan. We haven't seen this one yet, so I'm excited, man. I'm really excited to see this one.
It's such a great show. It's such a pleasure to play with the Sidecars band. They're such a great band, and great guys, and so it is a tour, and that we're playing a few gigs, together, and we were doing one a show the night before in Virginia, actually.
Oh, awesome. That way you can warm up for our show, baby.
Exactly. We'll be nice and warm.
Because we'll give you one hell of a show here. And let me tell you, since you were here last time with your police band, we've made a lot of changes. So it is.
Oh my gosh,
we've become the mini sphere.
Hey, I've noticed the changes because I follow the page and I watch, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun having you guys back and doing what you do, and with the Cars. Of
Thank
course.
you so much.
Like again, I was one of those guys. I remember, for me, the Cars. Candia was the big first song for me for the Cars, and at that time there was remember you used to buy 8 records for a penny.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I really like this band, the Cars.
That penny in
So I got that penny and I ordered all the Cars albums that were on that. There it is, Candio. I need you, baby. But we look at that, and there's our what's his name? The keyboardist that was
Greg
here,
Hawkes.
Greg Hawkes. Yeah, we had Greg here, and Greg was actually playing the original Moog that he played and recorded those albums with. He had it here with him, and it took him a good 3 minutes between songs.
Yeah, he had to do all of his. There were no presets.
He had to dial in the next song.
Oh wow, he knew it like by
it was
heart.
really cool. It was really cool.
It was really awesome.
And probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, man. But
yes,
to me, without Greg, you didn't have the Cars.
No.
Greg Hawkes was the Cars, man. I mean,
they all were so influential. Like all of their parts, you can't take one of them out of the band and then have the Cars.
Yeah, and Ocasek's voice was just like it's a legendary voice, especially for that sound that the Cars had.
yes.
You know what's amazing about these guys, both bands together? So I have 2 quotes here that I found when I was researching for the show. Did you realize how much both those bands, the Cars and the Police, hated each other off the stage?
No, I didn't know that.
So before the death of Orr, Ocasek ruled out any possibility of a Cars reunion, saying that he would he would rather have hot diarrhea for 6 months than tour with the Cars for 6 months.
Damn.
And then the members of the Police hated each other so much that they frequently had physical altercations.
Well, I knew about that. Yeah.
The final straw came when they couldn't agree on which drum machine to use for a session. Drummer Stuart Copeland had broken his collarbone in a horseback riding accident and was unable to play drums. So their final straw was them fighting over a drum machine.
But one of the big things that pulled them apart was Sting's career. I mean, he was making waves for himself, and it kind of really where like we just had a guy on from Genesis. Now you look back at Phil Collins, Genesis, they were all still friends. They loved each other. They still toured. But I mean, when Sting started making it with the Plea, they were pissed. And Copeland was one of the people that was pissed.
He wasn't just making the music; he was making the movies.
Well, he was doing everything. We won't talk about Dune. We'll act like that never happened. Worst fucking movie
Dude,
ever made.
how iconic is that?
It's even more.
It's a cult following in that.
Yeah. The new Dune is good though. But no, like I said, I love these guys. Now I'm curious to the Cars now. Are you hitting? I mean, that's again another one of those bands with so many fucking hits.
Yeah,
man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Cars had so many songs that were hits.
You know, it wasn't until I was an adult that I realized that the Cars did Drive, because it was a different singer altogether, and it did not sound like the Cars at all.
Yeah.
Do you guys cover that? Like that's such a weird, off track song for the Cars, but it was
that's a major hit off a Heartbeat City album.
Yeah.
You have to play that song. People love that,
The girls all cry. It's a mess.
I had
cell phones up.
I had a Plymouth Duster, and I painted it green, and I did a flat black hood, and I had a 440 Hemi in it.
Nice.
And that was to look like that album. I was talk about dying. I almost died that night. I was the song that was still playing
literally
was Who's Gonna Drive Me Home as the flames and the oil was getting wiped off my face. Yep.
Yeah.
More albums.
Yep.
He's got all the records
Yep.
there.
Let's see. I had a 440 in mine, so I had a little blower in it and everything. But my doors, I went right between two trees. My doors were opened up backwards like this, and all I can remember is somebody knocking on the door and looking in and going, I was in the back seat at that time, and going, "Are you all right?" And I was like, I guess I'm alive. And he goes, "I'm going to call your dad." I said, "Well, there goes my life." I said I was alive. But yeah, they had to use Jaws of Life to get me out of the car.
Wow.
But that song and that the only thing that was going was that album. The cassette was still playing in the car, and I couldn't stop it. And it was Who's Gonna Drive You Home, and I couldn't get to the radio. But I did.
Ambulance.
I'm not gonna lie, I did get to the glove box, and I got my weed. And I got my hand out a window and I threw it as hard as I could. Oh, if my old man would have found that would have been the end of my life. And and 3 years later, I was in the military. 2 years later, I mean, get out. But yeah, that was my.
Travis, a great song.
It's a great song. It's a great album, dude. Heartbeat City was a great album, man.
Oh, awesome,
Yep.
amazing.
Yep, and that was. I don't even know between these two bands. There's so much. We usually talk to one band. It's weird having two bands because I'm thinking Police, I'm thinking Cars.
So you guys, you collaborated on the title for the tour. How well did you guys know each other before this tour together?
Well, I actually knew Oscar.
Well, Joe and I are.
Years ago.
Yeah, Rick and I, we recorded on some stuff in the past and friends, and admire Rick's playing so much, and he's a great guitarist, and Joe's a great guitarist and singer. And Joe and I met really just last year, and we thought it would be a great combination to do both bands together.
Absolutely.
I thought it was a great idea.
That was the whole thing. We didn't know. We didn't know we were supposed to hate each other. So it was we didn't know. We just found it out. So we're going to work on it.
Dude, as long as you don't get explosive diarrhea, you're fine. Man. I mean,
yes.
I'll tell you though. No, and look, I remember when Joe approached me with it, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" I was like, "Man, that Police band is great," and I knew it would be a great pairing. And it's tough right now because we're still in a recession. Things are still expensive. We run a restaurant. It's hard to even sell food because it's so expensive just to buy, and we're still at a time where, so if we can put two good bands together, it's good for both bands. It's good for sales, and it's good for people that love the music to be able to come out and enjoy, two great bands basically for the price of one. And hopefully when things break up, we'll be filling houses with one band at a time, and we don't have to stack bands. It's an unfortunate time we're in right now. It's weird, man, because it's like well, we were just saying with the Genesis guy, hey, everything has its curve. They say everything comes back, and I'm looking at universities right now. It's like the 60s, man. And it's like, what the fuck is going on?
But dude, even when you get to national bands, when you get to the big names, they're stacking their bill.
Oh, they have to.
They're going out as packages. Nobody's going out as a solo band anymore.
That's true.
Relative.
I think Joe and I thought that because these two bands were very much like the first sort of MTV new wave bands.
Yep.
We thought that the music and maybe the audience was they would both dig it because this was from they kind of came out at the same not at the same exact time but pretty much like in the same era, so they felt like around. The same audience would appreciate it. I mean, we love the Cars. I know all the songs.
Yep. Yep. And it's funny because I think for me it was I remember the Police before the Cars. Yeah, I think so, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I have to remember back. That's a lot, man. I can't remember what I ate for dinner. Or I didn't eat dinner. There you go. But I can't remember. So what was the first? When did the two bands start? Like what year did? Look it up real quick.
I want to say like 1977, 78.
Yeah, it was late.
The Cars kind of like, I guess they kind of reformed as the Cars. I think it was like 76, if my research is
What
accurate.
were they originally?
I'm sorry.
What was the name of the band originally?
It was Richard and the Rabbits before
That's
the Cars.
right. I knew that too. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yep,
Yeah.
that's so
Or-
cool,
I'm sorry,
man.
or it was Cap and Swing. Cap and Swing.
Whoa.
There.
See, that's something else. What, you see, I don't. This is you're
Yeah,
bringing back some memories,
and
man.
you know the police.
forgot
The
about that.
police. Stuart Copeland had an early version of the police called Clark Kent.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Why
Which
they
I mean,
call it Clark
which
Kent?
was Andy and Sting and Stuart Copeland, but they were in disguise, so you couldn't you wouldn't really know is them. It's a very
When
unusual
they became
thing. that
Superman,
they did.
they became.
Yeah, they became a
Yes.
super band.
Right.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that either, man. I didn't know any.
Yeah,
So,
the records are
Okay,
out
here
there.
you
You can
go.
find that stuff on Spotify, probably.
And that's what I'm actually looking at right now is Spotify. And if we're going by Spotify, the Police and the Cars both debuted their first album in '78.
that makes sense then. Okay, because I knew it was like early '80s, late '70s, so that makes sense. Okay.
So they both came out the same year.
Wow, that's
awesome.
pretty cool. And now they're touring together as two great
Sort
experienced
of.
cars.
Sort of.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you
Full
this.
circle.
So let's go with America or New York's finest for how long has that your band been together now?
Well, believe it or not, it's been about 13 years.
Wow.
We started 13 years ago, but we were more like a sort of a seasonal band that got together a lot in the summertime, and which was fun. But we just didn't play as much as we are doing now. So
Yeah.
and but it was still very exciting. We got to go to Brazil. We got to do a small tour of Brazil.
You don't want to go to Brazil now.
Right,
Nobody
yeah.
wants to go to Brazil
Well,
right
about
now.
13 years ago, it was right before all that was going on. It was
Yeah.
an incredible experience to go abroad and meet all these people who were into like treating us
Yeah.
as if we were the police. So
That's wild. Yeah.
Well,
really,
no, I will
really
tell
exciting.
you guys really give the Police. I mean, I've seen the Police several times in concert. I actually saw Sting with Pavarotti
Oh wow.
wow.
in New York.
Yeah,
And I'll
amazing.
tell you, man, you really do. And we said that when you guys left that night, we're like, dude, that was as close to seeing the Police as you're going
Well,
to get seeing the Police again.
Such a compliment, man.
Oh,
Thank
it
you
was
so
so
much.
good, man. It was such a
Yeah,
good
no,
show.
I mean, the boys are, I got to mention them. Mark Renzel, Alan Camlett, Mark Renzel on lead vocals and is our Sting and bass guitar, and he resembles Sting, and Alan is as badass as Stuart Copeland is, and I'm just there enjoying the ride, but yeah, no, thank you so much for the compliment. I mean, we really tried to emulate the sort of early sounds of the Police and sort of the punk roots, the CBGB's Police,
Yeah.
and so we're a little more aggressive than perhaps people remember them to be. But that's the fun of it. We always thought the Police were just super exciting, and so that's what we're trying to do with our tribute.
Dude, this guy Bono, the guy who plays Bono from the Unforgettable Fire, I'm going from Casey's quote. I thought I saw good Police tributes before, but these guys take the cake.
Oh,
And I'm
yes,
talking
Anthony.
about national acts. They are that good. Trust me.
Oh, they are. They really are. Like I said, man, I've seen the Police in concert, and I guess I've seen Sting, and I really thought you guys blew it away.
Thank you so much.
That's
Man. I saw the reunion tour. That's all I got to see. I never saw them back in the day. When because they kind of just broke up and didn't tell anybody.
Yeah. I remember. I was a big Message in the Bottle was like one of my songs, and when I saw them at the Spectrum in Philly. And I'm like, they did Message in the Bottle, and it was so cool, man. It was just such a good show, man.
And this is speaking to your generation. See, how many people became fans of Message in a Bottle because of Guitar Hero? I mean, that song caught fire again
absolutely,
because of that game.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of songs came that way. But now let's go to the Cars, because this is so weird having two bands. What?
Before you get the Cars, I think I have a photo of
Oh, that's me.
Oscar.
Oh yeah, there you are.
Yeah, there
Wow.
he is.
Well, that's at the Landis, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. That's
the old
Casey
projector on
took that.
stage.
Yeah.
too.
I love the.
I look
old
quite
projector. That's
confused.
cool.
No.
Yes.
Is that the right chord? I
What
don't
is
know.
this instrument within my hands? That's amazing. But let's get down to the Cars band real quick. Joe, how long you guys been together now?
I believe it was like around April of 2022.
Okay.
And it's gone through some like lineup changes, and we really kind of locked in with the right group of guys within the last year and a half or so. But it's been great, man. A lot of fun.
Dude, I'm looking forward to it. You know, we talked about it a lot. You know, I got what I love about you, man, is I'm a person that you get lost in my email. I get hundreds of emails a day, and we get so many bands, man. And you're very persistent, and I do like it.
I kind
You
of
gotta
almost
be,
touch on the
man.
same thing. Like Joe's like passion for really promoting these shows and
No, it's
caring and
crazy.
getting the really nice, good
I love
quality content
I
out
love
there is awesome.
Yeah. No, it's cool because you know we have a local. We talk about him every week too. Why the fuck does he always come up? Him and Taylor Swift. 35 shows in. We spend the same fucking person every month.
Dude,
But we have
he's part of every
we have
show.
a guy local, Steve
There he
Desco.
is.
There he is. He's doing a Night of Sabbath, 2 bands playing the same fucking music. We don't understand it, but he sells and he goes out there and he pushes, and that's what
Yes,
you
he
do.
does.
And you really do. You promote well. You're always like, hey man, can I get this? Hey man, can you get me on this? And I'll understand. There's only a couple of us that run this place, so it's tough. But if you stay persistent, we'll get there. And I appreciate your how hard you work, Joe. I really do, man. I really
Thank
do.
you so much for saying that.
Yep.
I just don't want to be annoying, but there's such like a threshold. Like, where's that threshold where I'm just like, okay,
Yeah. Look, we've probably said some things about you, but we didn't mean it in a bad way.
Honestly, Joe, I think
Imagine what his
I
band
appreciate
thinks.
your honesty.
I think
Now
you
you
hit
know.
it. I think you hit it perfectly. To be totally honest, like, honestly, I really think
Yeah,
you hit it absolutely perfectly.
No,
Yeah.
but if
It was
you
the right amount
didn't
of
if
fun.
you
It
didn't
was awesome.
if you didn't send stuff, you know, I would forget, you know, and it gets on a back burner, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, we wouldn't have this show coming up this weekend.
Hey, as long as you're not an annoying person.
I actually
Oh,
work
yeah,
for
you're not at
Oscar,
all.
so I'm glad that you said that I was so persistent that you're really making me look good in front of my clients.
I'm saying,
I mean, I Joe is the man. He's the
He really
best.
is.
I'm all for the way he promotes, and you know he psychs me up to do it. You know, so
He
What were you
texted me
saying?
and he said, "Save the year," but just can you hold the year?
yes, yeah.
So
That's
talking
true.
Christmas.
That's true. That's true. Can we do it? Can we do a Cars Christmas show? We'll do it right on Christmas Eve. People are coming.
2028.
yeah. Let's look 3
Yeah, have you
years.
started booking 2030 yet?
So talking about promotion, I know Joe and Oscar had put together an awesome video. I would love to.
Oh,
share
can
it.
we see it? Yeah, let's watch it real
Yeah,
quick. Let's
let's
let everybody watch it.
I should find it first before I.
Uh-oh.
It is right here.
Oscar, where'd you go?
We lost
Oh
him.
no!
No.
He knew he had a moment.
He
That's all right.
became the
We'll play it
Landis
first,
symbol.
and
I
I'll
feel
come
like Garth in Wayne's World.
There he is.
Celebrate the music of the Cars, Sting, and the Police with the premier new wave 80s tribute show, The Police Cars Tour. Join New York's finest and the Sidecars Band as they perform the hit songs of these iconic artists. Every breath you take, just what I needed. Every little thing she does is magic. You might think, and more. Tickets are available now. Celebrate the music of the Cars, Sting, and
I was gonna say, isn't that
Yeah.
the same fucking thing again?
Loop it.
Oh, that was good. You know what it reminds me of? One of those old commercials you used to watch at like 2:00 in the morning. You're like, oh wow, what?
Yeah, that was the goal. That was the goal. That
One
was
of
the.
the compilation albums.
It sticks in your head though.
Yeah, it's another one of those K-Tel
It
hits
really
for
does.
Dance Guitar.
37 songs for $7.99.
I have to give credit to my wife Lindsay, who is a brilliant videographer, and she's the voiceover that you hear. She put that video together for us.
I think Lindsay was the inspo.
Ah.
That was the inspo.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. No, that was a lot of fun. Well, we lost you, man. I was hoping you were gone for good.
Oh,
Jesus
man,
Christ,
sorry.
you came back.
I thought he made like a
Oh,
bird and flew
Hate to
away.
ruin
know.
it for you. Yeah, I
No.
was chasing the bird.
Ow!
Literally.
But no, we're glad to have you guys here, and it's great to be able to have this platform now for you guys too to let people, because we literally get like thousands of people between tonight and the night of your show that actually watch this. Believe it or not, I don't know what's wrong with them, but we appreciate them and we thank them very much for their insanity.
Some people watch every week.
Yeah, they watch weekly. It's great. No, we love them all, and we gotta have a party for all these people at some point, man.
Yeah,
we gotta have a good party. But
Have a wrestling match afterwards. You got to tell them that.
yeah, what was?
So do some mud wrestling after the show.
Yes, yeah.
Some hot diarrhea.
We can set up a mud pit. You guys can just fight in it at the end, like really just.
Remember the rules: no touching of the hair or face.
Yeah. What was But Kasich was fucking like even when he passed. Remember he what was his wife? The hot fucking model chick.
Paulina.
he fucked her over too. He's basically like, that bitch ain't getting a cent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what? He was pissed at the world, man.
Yeah, he was.
I always liked that guy too, man.
Yeah. You wouldn't have expected of all people Rick Ocasek to be like that.
No.
But
Yeah, I used to see Rick Ocasek walking down the street in New York. You know, he was always sort of very accessible in New York City. Just and I would recognize him as a kid. I was like, oh wow, that's Rick Ocasek.
Hey, you're lucky he didn't slap you and take your lollipop.
No, I never heard that. I never heard. He was super tall, dude.
Oh yeah, I remember. I unfortunately,
he's never
I've
seen
every
menacing.
band,
You know.
Yeah, they were another one of those bands that toured a lot in the '80s, and I got to see the Cars. They were great. And that was a really fun show. The Cars show was a good show. Back then, they used to do theatrics. You know, like they put stuff on stage. They had a big stage set up. You know, it was all the bands did. It was like
the
this
first
big thing.
video I remember from them was. Correct me if I'm wrong with the song title, but You May Think.
Oh yeah.
Just the whole bathtub and the whole like that video was great.
Yeah, they did some great videos. They really did. They did. They were another one like we were talking about earlier with the not Phil Collins but Peter Gabriel. They had some really cool videos. They did a lot of exactly. But they did a lot of they had a lot of really fun videos. You know.
Right. Well, they won the first ever MTV Video of the Year award with You Might Think, and they beat out Michael Jackson Thriller, which won like I don't know 6 or 7 awards that night or something like that. And the Cars won the final award for the night. Eddie Murphy gave it out. He wasn't happy about giving it out, but the Cars took it home with the green screen, pioneering.
Hell yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I think they deserved it. The only one I ever remember is Dire Straits winning with Money for Nothing.
Yeah.
That's the only winner I ever remember.
Sting sings on that one.
Yeah, that's right. He does. Yeah. That's another great tune. Dire Straits is another great band.
Great band.
Another great band.
I forget what festival it was. I saw Sting. I saw a video on YouTube of Sting coming out with Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits on stage. I don't know if it was Live Aid.
It was Live Aid, yeah.
Oh, I've seen that. Yes, I've seen that.
I think that was the first time they did the performance together.
Really cool. Really cool.
Yeah. The song, that song was the hit that summer, I think.
It was everywhere that summer. It was everywhere on the radio, everywhere you went.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was a good thing, man. You don't have that anymore. You know, you just don't have the big hits on the radio. You don't like the world has changed, man.
Well, I remember as a kid, and maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but I remember as a kid when a video came out, a certain video, it was almost like the whole world stopped for that video.
To watch, yeah.
Like I remember Michael Jackson videos being like that. I remember the Dire Straits video being like that.
Yeah. I remember having this thing that was attached to the cable box with a cord, and you used to have to thump the buttons down. And I remember having the button thumped, and we kept going back and forth with this little roller thing because we were waiting for MTV to come on for the first time ever. And we were all sitting
watching when MTV,
and we weren't sure if it was fucked up or what was going on because you had this little wheel that would have to dial in.
The way they came on, the way MTV came on, you thought like.
Yes, yeah, and it was a video killed the radio star. It was the first song they played, and I remember sitting there watching it, and it was this again. You had this little, and we didn't know if it was on and we were missing it. Because you could dial porn in, like you go to the porn set and you get that dial right at the right side.
Those were the days. Those were the days.
You got it right there, baby.
Watching between the waves.
Oh, it was amazing, man. That was I forget what that thing was, but it was this big freaking thing that was attached to TV. Then all of a sudden, remotes came out, and now
the cable box. Man. Yep. You had 3 tiers on the cable box. Remember that? You had the top channels, the middle channels, and the bottom.
But I remember when MTV came out, I mean, again, these were some of the big bands. I mean, you had the Pretenders on there. You had so many. Yeah. There were so many. You had the Clash. There was a lot of punk rock that was moving into that era of pop music, more or less.
Couldn't get away from Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah. Well, Cyndi was a little later in the '80s. She wasn't in the beginning. In the beginning, it was a lot of those type bands. Like again, you had the Clash, you had the Pretenders, you had a lot of those bands. And you had the Police, you had the Cars coming out with all the good videos, and then
like Billy Idol, Bowie.
Yeah, Billy Idol was another big one, man. Yeah. And then Bowie released that one his 180s album there, and that was just like every song on it.
The Let's Dance record.
Let's Dance,
right?
yep.
Oh yeah, man, that dominated.
That was another great tour. I don't know if you got to see that tour, but Bowie's Let's Dance tour. I'll never forget him coming out in that big old suit and just dancing, and the suit didn't move. And then what's his name did it years later from Talking Heads. But Byrne put a real big suit on. But that was David Bowie-esque. That was the kind of the idea.
Right. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, yeah. The Bowie suit.
What was that?
Totally. No, I remember now what you were talking about with the Bowie suit.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it was great. Well, look, guys, we are running out of time because we have another bit. It is. Oh, It is
Oh,
Cinco
no.
de Mayo.
Oh,
It
no.
is Cinco de Mayo. That was page 1. I'm good. It is Cinco de Mayo this week. So we actually have a Santana tribute that is coming. They've been here, and they're
Awesome.
talking about phenomenal. But they're here actually in studio, and we're having them on Sunday. We're having a pretty big Cinco de Mayo Sunday here.
That's going to be
So
fun.
it's a long weekend. But let's just remind everyone that it is the Police in the Cars. It is this Saturday night at the Landis Theater. Doors open at 7. Show starts at 8. It's going to be a great show. Again, remember, free parking, no fees. Whatever the ticket price is, that's the ticket price. We're not adding taxes and fees. You pay what you pay. And again, police cars, New York's finest, doing their tribute to the police, and the Sidecars band doing their tribute to the cars. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it.
Can you believe it's May 4th? It's May already.
I know, man.
May the 4th be with you.
There it is.
Well, Joe, I really look forward to seeing you again, Joe. You're one of my favorite people, man. You really are. You truly are. You're a good human being, man. I really like you a lot, brother.
Brother, we'll talk soon, huh?
Absolutely. We will see you guys. Hey, look, safe travels, and we will see you guys on Saturday.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on, guys. Thank you so much. Again, Police Cars Tour this Saturday, May 4th. It is 8 p.m. The show starts. Doors are open around 7 o'clock, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Should bring some of the canine people by. I mean, you got the police car.
No, we should get the cops involved. That's all we need.
Yeah, I'm sure all those police fans definitely don't smoke weed.
No, not at all.
Synchronicity.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Anybody want to go through a Casey Ray's read 3, and we can try and get these gentlemen are here.
Yes. So Ray, how about you run through the read for Casey Ray's, and Steve and I will get the gentleman from Shaman.
I can read.
Why don't we let
Or
CT do it?
Go for it.
Go for it, brother.
Either way.
All right, guys.
Oh,
So Tuesday night, you got Jimmy Graham's Comedy Roost. Come sign up at 6. Show starts at 7. Same night, karaoke with DJ Paul, 8 to 11:30. No cover charge. Come out, buy a beer, buy some food. Karaoke, man, you can't beat it. Wednesday night, you got Open Mic Dynamite, 8 to 11, hosted by DD Star.
Keep going.
And Donnie Rocket, DD Star still out of town.
He is still on tour in Europe. He is still in Europe. As a matter of fact, he was texting me the other day. We got a little bit of a something coming up. It looks like too. Just so we might as well mention it that he's on tour with Wild Street, and
Love Wild
and
Street,
well,
man.
we may be having them and another band that's just getting off a tour in Europe. That's an announcement maybe for next week.
Kick ass,
Yeah,
man. Eric Jake's a cool dude, man. I like Eric.
Yeah, so they're coming off a tour in Europe, and then there's another band coming off a tour in Europe, and then we figured, what the hell, man? They're looking for a Sunday show, believe it or not.
Wow.
Because they just want to get warmed up for a U.S. Gig. So I'm like, fuck it, let's do it here.
Sounds great.
Yeah, we'll kind of announce that probably next week or so.
Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
So Wednesday
Yeah, it's
nights,
gonna be
you
fun.
got Donnie Rocket, bass player extraordinaire from Flying Circus.
Donnie.
He is running Open Mic Dynamite from 8 to 11. Thursday nights, you got R&B Ladies Night Out every Thursday from 9 to 1. $10 for guys. Ladies are free until 10:30 at night. Then it's $10. So why would you not get here early for that? Downstairs, you have Odie's Night with DJ Jerry J and DJ John from 5 to 8 p.m. Free admission. That is downstairs in the bar area. Friday night, you have Fireball Friday.
Fireball.
You got $4 Fireball shots from 8 to 10:30 p.m. Fireball drink specials all event long, plus rum buckets and more.
Wait, this Friday is the Baddies event, right, Kid?
Yes.
Oh,
That's
it's
the
gonna
next
be-
line down.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Batty
Oh, I forgot that's
Caribbean
this Friday.
party. So tell me about this.
This is going to be a busy Friday.
Caribbean party.
Yeah, I have
sounds
no fucking
great.
idea what it is. I'm gonna be
With
honest with you.
Mariah Lynn and,
I know
and friends.
a gentleman came to me, Will, and he's a wonderful gentleman. And he said, I got this girl I want to bring in, Mariah Lynn. She's from some show called Baddies or something like that. Never watched it, don't know anything about
She's
it.
from Love and Hip Hop.
Is that what it is? Love and Hip
Love
Hop?
and
Well,
Hip Hop,
well, then,
yes.
all right.
Yes.
Well, I have a friend that's
Yeah,
on
I
that
know
show.
Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah.
This is a ticketed
what he's
event
on.
only, guys. You want to make sure you
Yeah.
get some tickets to that.
Huh.
How do people go about getting tickets for
Well,
that? if it's
I'm
a
good
ticketed
friends with
event?
think they're
Christina the
pretty-
Bars. Remember El DeBars?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Bars?
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Christina, his daughter's a good friend of mine, and she was on that show, Love and Hip Hop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
Mariah
they went-
Lynn is one of like
Oh.
the new season.
Oh, well,
So do people-
I still don't know who the hell she is.
She's been on for a few years.
But I'm looking forward to meeting her and
And tickets, I think, are
I think they're pretty much sold out. I think it's pretty much
Tickets
sold out.
are sold out. So
Yeah.
if you don't have a ticket by now, sorry.
Yeah. There is some
Maybe
VIP
VIPs,
stuff I think
yes.
left, but that's about it. Yeah, that's pretty much sold out.
Saturday you got La Noche Latina.
La Noche Latina, sir.
God, you were so
yeah,
unfriendly.
I'm the white guy in the room, guys. Sorry about that. You got Latin Night with DJ Real
There
Deal.
she is.
9 to 2, $10 entry fee. Sunday is Cinco de Mayo party from 2 to 7. Brunch next door, Casey Ray's from 12 to 2.
Look at that cute little thing you did.
And don't forget, we have our blood drive here every third Thursday. Next is May 16th from 12 to 5. You can find more information, including where to sign up, at thelandistheater.com under the American Red Cross tab. Guys,
Yes.
come out. It's a well worth as far as having a father who had he had to go through dialysis and stuff. So this stuff really goes to people in the area, man.
It
Really,
also
really
goes to
well
vampires
appreciated.
and people that buy blood for other uses. So, yeah,
There you go.
it's a great organization.
The
Support
movie industry
vampires.
really hits
But real quick, let's just talk about Cinco de Mayo. So Cinco de Mayo at Casey Ray's around 12 o'clock. We will open up for a Cinco de Mayo brunch, which features nothing in the Hispanic realm of food but some breakfast shit. And then at 2 o'clock, we have everyone knows Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, man.
Our superstar running back for the Chiefs, who lives here in town. We just had his party. His father will be DJing upstairs from 2 to 7, doing his thing. And then at 7 o'clock, we have Shaman, the who's been here before.
Yes.
And they are actually here visiting us. They are the Santana Experience. And let me tell you, if you want to celebrate that night, you come get some breakfast, have a couple of drinks
Spend the whole
upstairs,
day.
have some fun, and then come and really see Santana the way it's. When they were here last time, they blew us away.
Mm-hmm.
Percussion was
that's
on
a
point,
big
man.
thing,
It was on point, and you need that behind Santana.
Absolutely.
And it was on point. And of course, Santana, the guitar playing, everything was like, it was top notch. It was top notch.
Would you like a little taste before we
Oh,
start?
yes. Can we? Oh,
Yeah.
we got a little bit of them
Yeah.
from the last time they were here.
I have 2 little tastes. I'll show you one first.
Go for it. Go for it. Enough phone.
Yeah.
That would have good, dude. And again, the wall of percussion.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
And so you really need that for Santana. And these guys are spot on. Spot on. You're going to get a good show. What was the other one you have, Case? Yeah, because I have to cough, so it'd be easier to play the video, and then I can cough.
That sounds good. Give me uno momento.
Oh, you just
por
cough for everyone if
favor.
they'd like.
No.
My post.
All
And I was like,
right.
"Oh,
All
look at
right.
that."
Well, we have a couple gentlemen from the band here in the studio in the Michael Kelly Guitar Lounge. Thank you again, Michael
Yes.
Kelly, michaelkellycars.com. This wonderful new piece behind us over here. Thank you very much. You guys are in the Michael Kelly Guitar Lounge. How you doing? How you doing? You want to give our names so everybody knows who we are?
I'm Chuck.
Chuck and
Frank.
Frank.
Yes.
We of course remember them. But how you guys doing?
We're doing great. This is so exciting to be back at this place. We tell everybody about this place, not only the professionalism of the crew, but how beautiful the place is. And it's so important to come in here and do a great show because it's such
And it's made for bands like you. I mean, your band sounds so good in this room. It's unbelievable. Like I said, it's not even, that Carlos Santana and the guitar and everything that Santana was really about. But again, for me, when I'm listening to Santana, the percussion is so important to me.
Oh yeah.
And
Absolutely.
you guys bring it like no other band. We even had another Santana tribute. They were phenomenal too. Don't get me wrong. A good friend of mine fronted that band. But this band, when it comes to the music, I mean, it is spot on. The musicality, and you're so tight. The band is so tight.
Well, thank you so much.
It's such a great band.
That means a lot to us.
You guys practice a lot, or you?
Oh yeah, we practice all
You
the
can
time.
tell,
we
man.
go over it and over it, and you know what we did find out was Santana is so complicated.
Oh,
we would have never thought, even being fans as long as I've been a fan since 1969.
Yeah, me too.
I never realized how complicated that music is because it's
so many
constantly
levels
changing.
and there's so many levels, and you guys play it more like the live Santana versus the album Santana,
right?
Which is something that Steve and I really appreciate. There's a few bands that come in and do that. We had a Stones band in this weekend. They've been playing together since 1978. They're one of the original like tribute bands that were around. And they were golden, but what I liked about them is they reminded me of seeing the Stones live more than just a band up there trying to play the music.
Doing songs, right?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of cool for people that are a true fan of a band to be able to relive the. Who was the other one we had? Was it the James Taylor band?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
We had a James Taylor tribute. When I tell you they were so good, they studied all of his live performances.
So smart.
They went and they wrote out the music based on his live performances and play exactly that. Again, he's another person that does not play the same live as he does on his records.
Right.
And they were probably the best.
Yeah,
of anyone playing live as an artist. And that guy that was leading the band was just
he sounded just like
he was like the doppelganger of James.
That's really
but
cool.
that's what you guys do. You give me that live Santana, which is what you really want.
Well, with Santana, that was like your first taste of Santana was Woodstock.
Yeah, true.
Like that was live, and that's live. Like that was most people's very first like taste of Santana was Woodstock.
Well, I never thought about it that way. It's true though.
For me, 2 weeks before Woodstock, I went to the Atlantic City Pop Festival, which was at Atlantic City Racetrack. And it was all the bands that were going to be at Woodstock. They were all at Atlantic City. And there was a couple bands on there that nobody ever heard of. And one of them was Santana Blues Band. Who, nobody who cared, whatever. On the third day, on Sunday, they performed. And I was on the track. We decided to sit on the track that day because it was at the racetrack. And the stage was kind of in the middle of the track. And, they introduced Santana Blues Band. That's a time to talk to your girl and mess around. And then, you're hearing this rhythm. And I keep looking like, what the heck is... And I look up and I see a line of timbales, 5 conga drums, guys with afros playing. And I'm going, what is this?
Yeah.
This is like... And they just blew us away. Now, that's 2 weeks before Woodstock. The next day, I went down to South Street, and the pawn shop is still there. I spent $30 for a conga that was in the window.
Really?
And I started playing. By the time we made it to Woodstock, I was going to see them.
Isn't that a song?
Yeah.
I was going to see them because I couldn't remember.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't. I like the vision was in my head, but I wanted to see them again because I said, could they have been that good? And you know what happened?
Absolutely, man.
And that was it.
Yeah.
What's funny is I was at the same concert, but I didn't know Frank.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we were both. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away because my background, I'm a drummer and playing percussion. I mean, seeing something like that was just.
And then
you never saw anything.
And Mike Reeves' solo, the drum solo, was one of the greatest.
Oh, it's one of the best performances.
And no one knew who they were.
Isn't that crazy?
And and of course, I don't know if you know the story about how they got on Woodstock. Bill Graham, they were one of Bill Graham's bands. The promoters from Woodstock came to Bill Graham and said, "We have one more spot." And Bill Graham goes, "Well, I have 2 bands." He said, "I have It's a Beautiful Day," which had a big song out at that time, Whitebird. And I have this other band, Santana. And the promoter said, "Just flip a coin." They flipped a coin. Landed on Santana.
What?
And the rest is history.
Can you imagine?
Wow, that's crazy. And just that flipping a coin changed their career.
Amazing.
Changed their lives.
Music
and
history.
then, of course, every time they came to Philly, I went to see them and just got to know some of the guys in the band. And, it was pretty amazing stuff.
Oh, so how long has the band been together now? Your band?
Oh, we've probably gone through 50 different flights
Yeah.
to get that we have, because doing Santana is not like doing just regular top 40 stuff.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to play it note for note and things like that, it's difficult to find the right mix of people and the right musicians to buy into the concept.
Yeah.
Because we want to do a show. So our whole thing is, other than music, is visual. So if you come to see us, our setup, especially with the percussion, is identical to if you want to see Santana.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, that wall of percussion's there that you see with Santana.
It was important for us to be able to, if you go back to Woodstock or you go back to the Tanglewood concert, famous live concert by Santana,
like Sacred Fire,
and Sacred Fire, we wanted to look like that. And we see a lot of the other Santana bands, which are good bands, but to us, they don't have that look.
Yeah.
And because I used to remember when I would go into a Santana concert, before it even started, seeing all that percussion was just exciting.
Yeah.
Before the band even started.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we wanted. That's what we've tried to create. And I think
you've done it. I think we just got to you got to get the people out to see, because the more people that can get to see you guys,
right,
I think the more people that are going to come back every time you're here. Right. And we know it's a Sunday, but it is Cinco de Mayo, so it's one of those times when it kind of makes sense to try and put the show on. Yes. And we're really we're pushing hard for sales and stuff. We're even doing a couple other events to lead up to it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, so our hopes are when people come to the other things, we can say, hey, by the way, why don't you come on over, and we might even offer them a little discount or something to come on over, because we want them to see you. So when they're like, holy crap, they're back, we got to go see this band again.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like that. And I have to say, so you guys were at Woodstock together, but you weren't together.
Right.
I didn't make Woodstock.
But
Frank made Woodstock.
Oh, I would love to know
Atlantic City.
what hats you were wearing back then. Because somehow you got the same hats.
I didn't have to wear a hat.
I don't even. I remember what I was wearing that Sunday, because back then everybody used to go to I Goldberg's.
It was the place, baby.
And I went down with my buddy that I went to the concert with, and we were looking at what we're going to wear to the Atlantic City Pop Festival, and they had these tank tops that were made out of basketball nets. We thought, this,
I know what you're saying.
And I remember being on the track that day with my basketball net shirt on. I must look like the biggest idiot, but to me that was,
How was the sunburn?
I'm gonna say
cross hatches going on.
But that's what made it fun. And then Chuck and I got together in 72.
72.
Wow. We were both in different bands. I left the band that I was in. I put an ad in the paper. Chuck saw the ad, called me up, and I went down and auditioned for his band. And
what band was that?
It was called, we were called Rostia Stone. And we played with Wishbone Ash.
Wishbone, they played here. Wishbone Ash played here, yeah. They're still great. Still great, yeah.
That was like, 1972?
Yeah, 73. And then we changed it to a band called Prometheus. And we developed a whole show with scenery and costumes.
Oh, neat.
Wow.
Be honest with you, we were kind of ripping off Genesis. but we went out and did over 100 colleges. And where we were playing, they didn't even know who Genesis was.
Yeah.
So to them, it was the greatest. We had 7 scenery changes. We had costume changes between each song.
Yeah, it was more like a theatrical show.
Yeah. I love that.
And we were progressive music, and we wrote our own stuff. So we were like a combination of Genesis, Yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the whole.
Oh, that's awesome.
But remember the time, 73, 74.
And listen, we had no money.
Yeah.
There were 17 people traveling.
Yeah. We had a tractor trailer.
Jeez.
Wow. Well, you didn't get any money from selling the name of the first band? Was that a Stone? Didn't they buy that?
They weren't speaking many different languages.
Yeah. The back of the truck was peanut butter and jelly and mixed.
Oh, I'm good with that, man.
And that's what these guys and these guys that are in the crew, they worked for nothing and they had the time of their life.
Holy shit! Sounds like the Landis theme.
So
and
that's how
my brother's still with us. So.
Oh, that's awesome,
Oh,
man.
wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
No, that's exciting, man. So you guys have been together for a while.
Yeah, and then you and I
50
crossed
years.
paths too.
Yep. Years ago with
Because-
Robert Hazard. Yeah.
because
Yep.
Chuck and I
Yep.
started Cinesound,
Yeah.
Yes.
and I ended up being Robert Hazard's
His sound guy. Yeah,
for
that's right.
10 years.
Yeah.
And that's how we crossed
Yeah,
paths
we
there.
talked about Uncle Vaughn. Uncle Vaughn almost buying you your rig that would have changed your life. And
I remember going to see him at the dump.
yeah, at
And-
Kinsley's. Yep.
Yeah, I needed a Midas mixing board, and
Yeah.
I just didn't have the money
It was
to
just
get this Midas. I wanted it.
if you
so
came a
bad.
month earlier.
yeah.
Hey.
Well, his name was Vaughn, right?
Yeah, Vaughn Cook. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
jeez.
Yep.
Whatever
Yeah.
happened to him?
He's still around. He owns a bunch of apartment buildings over in Philadelphia area.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yep. He is a lord of the slums. But I love him. Uncle Vaughn's great. Yeah.
Hell of a way to describe
Well, I love it. He's an amazing man. Well, I rather call him a slum lord, but it's Philadelphia. What do you want? But he, I haven't seen him really. Last time I saw him was at my mother's funeral. But it's been a while. But he's still kicking. He's still doing great. But
That's amazing.
Yeah, but he used to live next to the landfill at that time. He had a little house right there next to the
Yeah, that's where I met.
No,
that's
in
where
his
I met the
house.
singer.
Oh yeah. Was the bird and the monkeys and all them there?
I don't remember
Yeah.
that,
Oh,
but
man.
it's a long time ago.
He had a monkey that used to fling shit at you when you came in. They would take him and his significant other would take vacations all the time, and we would stay and babysit the bird and the monkey and all that shit. And we taught the bird like really, really bad language. And I'll never forget. He came back. He goes, "I got to get rid of the bird." He goes, "It won't stop saying fuck you," and everybody comes in, "You asshole, you son of a." And I'm like, well, and the only reason we stayed there is because he had HBO. We're like, we'll do it because he's got HBO.
He was rich.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was good, and we were like, dude, we could sit and watch HBO.
That monkey might have flamed the shit out of me, but
He had an underground swimming pool. We're like, this is the place to stay.
Yeah.
Like, Uncle Vaughn wants you to watch his joint. I'm like, I'm there.
Yeah.
There's fucking monkeys. It was.
I mean, there's nowhere else you can go watch monkeys.
Yeah,
so-
that's right. Now I'm thinking. I remember the monkeys and all.
Yeah, oh yeah, he had a
Yeah.
little zoo there, man. It was pretty
Wow,
crazy.
that's-
Pretty crazy. But and then you had Robert Hazard. You had Rob there.
Yeah.
It was
There's
that
a
was
lot
a-
of shows. with
that was a
Robert.
fun time in my life too, because I got
Absolutely.
to see him open for Genesis and all that stuff back
Yep.
in the day. We were just talking to a guy coming here doing Genesis. I don't know if you were doing sound for that concert, were you?
No,
No?
not for
Okay.
Genesis one. I
Yeah.
probably did 99% of his concerts.
No.
And
yeah.
when we used to go to the colleges in this area, Millersville,
Yep.
it was like the Beatles were coming.
Oh yeah, he
You
was.
couldn't
I
get
try
a
to tell these
ticket.
guys, you don't understand. He was like
Oh, yeah.
the shit.
Yeah.
You
It was
could not
crazy.
get
It's
a
so
ticket.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
weird. Yep.
You had those guys in before you were talking about the cars,
Yeah.
and I would just like to relate a story. You
Go
mind?
for it. No, go for it.
All right. He was talking, and I heard him mention the song "Drive"
Yeah.
by Benjamin Orr. Well, that day of Live Aid, we got called, Cinesound got called to do rehearsals for Live Aid. The Friday night before Live Aid, we did Madonna and the Black Sabbath reunion. We did it at a recording studio on Delaware Avenue. Actually, it's a building right across from the casino, from Rivers Casino.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next morning was Led Zeppelin. And I was like, this can't be happening.
That's crazy,
Wow.
We got there. I got there about 8:30 that morning. Our stuff was already in there from the night before. And the first guy that comes in was Robert Plant. And he walks in, he walks up to me, he said, "Hi, I'm Robert Plant." I went,
Thanks for the introduction.
like I was so nervous. And he told me, he said, I haven't seen Jimmy for 6 years. He said, I haven't seen these guys, because he was out with the Honey Drippers. So then the other guys came in, everybody got to know each other, and they were going to start playing, and the drummer came in, and it was Tony Thompson, who I toured with Chic. He was Chic's drummer.
Mhm.
And Tony walked in and said, "Hey, Frank, how are you?" And Robert goes, "You guys know each other?" And that just cut all the ice.
Yeah.
And it just, everybody relaxed.
That's what you need. Yeah.
So during the rehearsal, I see they're going over all these songs, and this is the God's honest truth. I said to Robert, Robert, are you guys doing Stairway to Heaven? And he looked at me and said, do you think we should? And I went, I said, Robert, there's millions of people are waiting for that song today. He turned to Jimmy and he said, Jimmy, he thinks we should do Stairway. And he turned back to me and he said, do you guys know the words? Can you write them down? I looked at my guy, John, the monitor guy, which John Langan worked for me for years, one of the greatest monitor engineers I've ever known. Him and I wrote the words down, gave it, and I have pictures of him singing that song, holding those words.
That's crazy.
And they ended up doing it. And then he said, and when you're a sound guy, you record everything.
Yeah.
Even though you don't let them
You're not
know.
supposed to, yeah.
But he said to me, he comes over and said, do you guys have a tape recorder here? And I went, oh, shit. I went, yeah. He said, Phil Collins is flying in from England because he did Wembley in the morning.
Yep.
And he's the only musician.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he's going to play with us in Philly. And he wants to hear the songs because he's going to take a helicopter from JFK down. And he wants to listen to what we're rehearsing so he knows what to play. So I had to give them my tape. Of course, I never got that tape back.
Oh, man.
But
that sucks.
we had such a good time with those guys that after it was all over, they were packing up because now it was like noon and they had to get over. If Robert says, are you coming over with us? I said, we don't have any tickets. He said, you have tickets now. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because when we got there and we walked up on the stage, the first thing I saw was Benjamin Orr singing Drive.
Oh, wow.
And I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked out and there was 120,000
Oh, yeah, it's
people.
crazy. Yeah.
And there's Benjamin Orr singing that song. And I'm going,
awesome.
this is a dream.
That's
This is a
awesome.
dream.
It was a dream for a lot of people, too. Jimmy Page was good. I met Jimmy several times. The first time I ever had him, I had lunch with him in Los Angeles. Yeah, he did a lot. I was in the film business for years there, and he did a lot of soundtracks.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, couldn't have been a nicer guy. You would have never known he was literally a rock god, sitting there, eating his sandwich with shit dripping down his face.
Yeah.
And he talking with his mouth full, and he's just like kind of spitting at you. You're like, what am I going to say? Stop spitting food at me. But he was actually a really nice dude, man.
way of making them sound.
Yeah, right. But he was a great guy.
Now, what was this for?
At that point, we were doing a movie. What was it? Oh, it was called The Ground House. It was actually purchased by Lionsgate, and the movie. I don't know whatever happened to the movie. I know a lot of movies we made never make it or whatever. But
Right.
he was doing a lot of soundtracks. He had done I forget which one he had done. It was really big, but that was kind of his thing, and that's what we were discussing the first time. A friend of mine. I can't remember his last name though. We used to just call him G. He did that song, "Cry Little Sister." Cry Little Sister. Yeah. The guy him and Jimmy went to school together. They went to like grade school and all that together. And he goes, I want you to meet a friend of mine. He goes, he's working on the new album for the show. And again, I'm like, man, the guy looks familiar because his hair was different and everything. He's older and everything. I'm like, he goes, I want you to meet. He goes, I want to meet you. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing? I'm ready. He goes, good. He goes, it's Jimmy Page. I'm like, wait, the Jimmy Page? They're like, holy shit, man. I'm like, what the fuck? It was a pretty crazy time. But they were great people.
Yeah, they were
really just down to earth. He was such a good guy. Man.
I remember Robert talking to us that day like he's known us for years.
Yeah.
And then when he knew that I had toured with Tony Thompson, who died, but he was even more friendly and this is great.
Yeah,
this is going to be fun.
Yeah. It's cool because you open doors with people like that. And then all of a sudden it opens doors.
Yeah, and you never know. Like, when I toured with Chic, I never knew that would help me later.
Yeah.
And then when he walked in that day.
La Freak says Chic, by the way, just in case you forgot.
Yeah. Chic were cool, man.
No, they were bad. Are you kidding me, man? They were 70s. They were hot in the 70s, man. They were hot in the 70s.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I didn't know you were. Now, did you do anything with any? So Vaughn did a lot of bands. He did Pretty Poison. He did the Agents.
Pretty Poison used to rehearse in my.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
in
so
my warehouse.
He backed a lot of those albums.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
man.
right. That
Yep.
was Vaughn's money
Yep.
behind that.
Yep. Oh, his money was behind a lot of stuff. Robert's
Yeah.
albums, everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Ibe was involved.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah. It's funny, man. We had
I know.
these years come together and we
Isn't it
cross
something?
paths.
Who
And here
would
you
think?
are on my stage.
And this stage,
Isn't it crazy?
but this stage
Yeah.
is beautiful.
You talk about Bill Ibe. He called me to say, I have this guy, we're trying to put a band together. So he said, can you meet me at the Warwick Hotel? So I go there, and across the street, there was like a loft warehouse or something. So there was a drum set there. And so I'm playing, it was Robert was putting the band together.
Oh, really?
So I did 2 practice. So I joke, I said, I played with Robert for two weeks.
Oh,
But still, it was really
Yeah.
2 practices.
Yeah.
Practice 1 week, practice the second.
Yeah.
And I just said, that's not for me, type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Robert, I think, was living in the Warwick Hotel.
That's
at the
funny.
time.
Yeah. I kind of remember something about that. That's I was young then.
Yeah.
I was very young then.
Yeah, yeah.
I was very young then. But I kind of remember a little bit of that though. What was that? What did I just do?
Guest appearance.
I clicked the wrong button.
Casey doesn't want to be seen today. She had a facial, so her face is all red, and she doesn't want anybody to see it. But look, and now CT's never looked better. Can you leave him like that?
Yes.
But look, I'm excited for this band to come back, man. I really do. I really love. Now, aren't you doing that? Now, remind me, you do something with speakers too, or something? Do you still do anything, or?
No, I'm out of the sound business.
Oh, okay. I thought you're still in it. Okay.
No.
Completely out of it.
But you know what's funny? Like all the connections from way back when, they still come around. Like with you,
Yeah.
we have some other gigs coming up that I had connected with people from Electric Factory concerts that remember us, and and I left it for 30 years. I was out of it completely, and then just him and I said, we got to do something.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought was Santana.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did because man, I'm telling you, it's tough because a lot of people don't know Santana. Like we always say, it's always hard to sell those tickets. And I just want people to realize, man, you when you're coming, if you just like live music in general, and you want to see some of the best music played on a stage, and again, if you're even think about loving to play the drums or any type of, if you played a triangle for Christ's sake at some point in your life, come see this.
Hey, believe me, that's my next instrument, the triangle.
Well, let me tell you, how do you not have that? You have everything up there.
Yes.
Well, and they should, people should watch the Sacred Fire concert. And if they watch that concert, we're going to give them as close to that concert as you're
that's cool. That's really
and
cool.
it's exciting.
That's really cool.
There's so much going on visually, musically, and because we've always believed that visual is very important. Like we want to entertain. We want people to come and say, I can't see that on the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're on the stage, you better be something different than walking down the street.
Right.
Because people are paying money and you want them to be entertained. So we try to entertain.
And also the Landis affords us to have our setup.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a stage for it.
There's some places we play, we can't have our
can't
setup.
fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we played one place and the guy that promoted us came up and said, if you're half as good as what your setup is, it's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah. And you guys are, you are that good.
Well, thank you.
We've made some changes too. Like we've become the mini sphere here now. Now, like the walls now have become movie screens.
Well, when we were here last, you told me you were going to do that.
They took care. Steve and Andy took care of it, and they nailed it. And wait till you see it; it looks amazing.
But I will tell you this for everybody and every other bands, your crew gave us everything we needed.
Well, that might not happen this time.
No, I don't believe that. Your crew was
they're good
fantastic.
guys. They're good guys.
They treated us like professionals, and they were professionals.
Absolutely.
From the past, we know like the Tower Theater, all the places, how it should be.
Yeah.
So when we come here, we felt like, hey, this is like we made it type of thing. We're in the real world.
And I'll tell you, Bob, our sound guy, dials you guys in. He knows this music very well, and he's very good. What I like about Bob, he's not like most sound guys where you'll see him. You guys, you'll do your sound check. The band gets going, a song in, the sound guy's going smoking a cigarette outside or something. That's not Bob. Bob is waiting. He knows the music, and he knows, all right, Well, the bongos are coming up. There's almost a solo, so he's ready on those bongos. He's ready on that guitar.
That's
He's
so important.
and he's bringing instruments in and out like
So
they should
important.
be. And a lot of sound guys don't do that. And that's what happens. Once they set it and they leave it, and that's the end of it.
Yep.
And they kind of just every once in a while they'll turn something up and down a little bit, like they get a little feedback. They'll look and see what's peaking and pull that down. And that's about it. But Bob literally sits there and he waits. He knows the music like we do. And he goes, oh, there's a guitar solo coming up. And he'll wait. And as soon as he's ready, he'll hit it. He knows there's a certain some reverb or echo on the record of a singer. And that comes up right here. And he'll hit it right on the time.
Well, we did get that reaction from some of our fans that said that was one of the only times that they heard everything when it's supposed to, when you're supposed to hear it.
And we actually had monitors.
Yes. Well, and our monitors, just so you know, are all handmade. So
they were awesome.
They were built by our former, unfortunately, Joe Parent. He's passed away. He passed away during COVID. He was our original front of the house guy, and Bob actually did the stage. He was our monitor guy, and they were all built by Joe. And when you take them apart and you got to fix one, then Steve will tell you firsthand that they look like they were built by Joe.
Is Bob the one that did our monitors?
Yeah. No, that was Tommy. Bob did your front of house.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Same guy last year.
Well,
same guy.
I remember the monitor guy.
Yeah, Tommy.
And I would just turn to him and say, I need it, and I'd get it.
Yeah, Tommy's a great guy. He's a great guy.
I think Tommy had a couple of your Cinesound speakers. I think last time I remember.
I remember him telling me. I still.
Yes, you came in with the shirt.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
See that guy standing right there?
Yes,
he's the guy that built.
Yeah, you got the shirt.
He's the guy that built.
You got to give me a Cinesound shirt.
He built all those speakers.
Oh,
and they're still out on the road.
That's amazing.
50 years ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got to get a Cinesound shirt. You got to find me one of those suckers, man.
I got them.
Oh, I need one of those. That's amazing. Yeah, that brings back a lot of memories for me too.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
It's really cool. It's really cool. And I said the first time I met you, I was so excited. You know, to again cross paths, but then to realize, you know, how your hands were in so many other things at the same time that I knew. From people that I knew. Like I said, you know, we were. I went the way of. Even my mom was she was a USO singer. My father could play any instrument, you know, basically by ear. You know, and me, I went the way of film and television. So, I mean, I went the opposite, but music was.
But your whole family has been.
All of them. Yep, all in the music
and
business.
now look at this, what you have.
Yeah, and then I ended up in the music business.
Yes. Very deep into the music business.
But still doing film and video. See, that's what's cool. So we get to do it both. So it's really cool.
Well, we tell everybody about the Landis Theater.
Yeah.
We
We
really do.
appreciate
I'm
that.
not just saying that.
We appreciate that.
We tell everyone what a great place it is, the great crew.
And you have
great
Ron,
people.
you have Ron Kyle pushing you, and Ron is another wonderful guy.
He's been around a long time.
He's such a good man with such a great heart.
Yeah.
I love him so much. He's become very dear to me. And you know, he's been trying to reach out ever since he was going to come to the hospital and visit me when I was in the hospital. And I was like, I don't
Thank
want
God I called him back.
Yeah, I was like, I don't
march his way down.
Yeah, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. I'm still not great. I'm trying to figure it out. It's looking for some second opinions, but we'll see what happens. I'll either die or I'll keep going. It's one of the two. So
I do a stress test every single day.
Of
course you do.
fucking do. Oh, she does. She does.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Oh, that's what.
I say it there with touch too.
Well, look, I'm excited to have you guys back again. This is going to be a Cinco de Mayo to Cinco and de Mayo like you've never Cinco'd and de Mayo before here at Casey Ray's, the Landis Complex. We should start calling it the Landis Complex.
Yes.
Because there are some changes. We can't wait to announce those. They're coming as well. But so we're going to celebrate. So you can put that back up, honey. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Landis again, starting at noon at Casey Ray's. We will be having a brunch. You will be able to get breakfast stuff. You'll be able to get mimosas, all that good stuff. And then again, our wonderful friend Isaiah Pacheco with his 2 Super Bowl rings. His father will be upstairs from 2 to 7 DJing. And then I do believe that after this Sunday, every other Sunday, Julio will be back with a 2 to 7 of DJ thing. And we're going to kind of announce that too. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, Pacheco's party was great. His dad did a lot of the DJing for that, and he's phenomenal DJ. He's really good, man. He's
He really honestly killed it.
yeah, he's fucking
was
great,
fantastic.
man. He really is good,
Like,
man. He's good.
I had never seen him DJ before. I thought I was getting confused between thinking who the actual DJ was and confusing him with Julio. And I was like, wait.
And then if you're attending that,
So
we're gonna push everybody that's there and everything to know that this amazing Santana band will be playing at 7 o'clock. So this show, the doors open at 6. Show starts 1 hour early. It starts at 7, which is a little unusual, but it is a Sunday. So we're trying to, we don't want to keep people out too late, but it is a celebration, and it did happen to fall on a Sunday this year. And I'm hoping this is something we can keep going. Is that as the years go forward, it's going to suck. Doesn't it move up every year? So next year it'll be a Monday. Yeah. So maybe we'll start celebrating it. Maybe on a
unless
that's the good thing though. They call it like Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Yeah, that's true.
Weekend.
That's true. You guys can just play 3 shows in a row.
And
you don't have to take all your stuff though.
Even even for people that don't know a lot of about Santana, our show gives a lot of history for Santana. It gives the musical, how the music progressed, so they can learn a lot too.
I think though, what's his name that did the one song with Santana?
Rob Thomas.
Rob Thomas. I think someone like Rob Thomas doing that song brought a lot of people into the world of Santana that would have never.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that song especially.
My whole generation.
Yeah, it opened people's eyes to what is this, and then all of a sudden they went back and like, holy crap, man, this is great.
Yep.
And dude, there's nobody that plays like Carlos Santana. I mean,
There's only one.
There's only one person that plays like him.
There's only one Angus Young, and there's only one.
And it's funny. I said the same thing to what was that? What's that? What was the lady? The cha-cha-cha lady. Remember her, the flamenco guitar playing chick? You know who I'm talking about.
What's the name's wife?
You talk about Charo?
Well, yeah, Charo.
Yeah.
I saw Charo one time. I got her into another. And let me tell you, nobody plays like her. She does. There are guitarists that have their sound, and there's nobody that can. You can do your best, and you can do pretty damn close to it. But when you see them play it, and you know their sound, so if you have somebody like you guys have that can play that music and even get close to it, you got a great concert. You got a great concert.
We're looking forward to it.
No, I can't wait. Like I said, we loved you last time, and I'm excited.
Yeah, it was fun last time.
It's going to be fun this time too. It will. You got to come early for breakfast. See?
Maybe we will. Well, we're going to.
And mimosas.
We load in early, so we'll be.
And mimosas.
Oh, love mimosas.
I love breakfast.
Sing on a Meyer, man. You got to break open that tequila.
Yeah. Hey. We got to be careful now. They got a long day. They don't go on until 7. So.
Oh man!
But again, that is this Sunday. Again, it starts at Casey Ray's with a little bit of breakfast brunch love. We move on to an upstairs from 2 to 7, and then of course at 7 o'clock these guys come on the main stage downstairs. This is Shaman. It is the Santana Experience. When I tell you, it is a true experience. I hate the tribute thing when people say, "Oh, a tribute to this," because you guys give you the true experience of seeing Santana live, and I appreciate that. We thank you guys,
and we appreciate you.
Yes,
appreciate it.
Again, it's so great to have you back in my life, my friend.
Thank you.
It really is. It really is, Frank. It really is. It really is. So this is a great way to keep it going too.
Yep.
Yeah, we're excited. All right, everyone. Thank you again. It is about that time that we sign off. We got a lot of great stuff coming up. Let's real quick. Oh, I lost myself. Oh, that's because the other microphone. When this microphone goes off,
really does.
It's a whole new world. Yeah. So let's real quick hit Friday. We have this amazing. For the first time, we have a Phil Collins Genesis band coming. It's Face Value, tribute to Phil Collins. We had a great talk with. I'm sorry. What's his? He was Joe too, right? Two Joes.
Joey.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was 2 Joes. Okay.
Joey.
I thought for a second, like, wait, am I mixing up the Joes?
Simonton.
Yeah, so with Joe, with Face Value, I can't wait. I think he's a wonderful guy. I think it's going to be a great show. And I'm, again, a big fan of Genesis and that Phil Collins era of Genesis and all his hits.
Yeah,
and then Saturday is the Police Cars Tour. It is New York's finest, who has played here before. Phenomenal Police and tribute to Sting and the Police. And then the Sidecars band, doing some music of the Cars, another great band of the 80s. Again, 2 bands that literally started at the same time and
literally the same year.
And then of course Sunday it is Cinco de Mayo with the Santana Experience, which is Shaman and these amazing gentlemen sitting next to us and in the room with us right now. So come celebrate. Have a look. It's a weekend of music, man. And
phenomenal music.
Again, free parking. Everything is as low as we can possibly get. Tickets. We taxes included in everything. There are no fees. We do everything we can to keep people want free bird, free fees. That's great. Free parking, but it's one of those things that we're trying to do to make the Landis a little bit different. Thank you so much to my birthday show. Oh, Joe, you got to come out on Sunday, man. Joe. So Joe Morrison. So I don't know if you guys know real quick. We had Sticks here, the actual band Sticks.
Yeah, we did know.
Yeah, and Todd, the drummer, is probably one of the best drummers alive today. Still playing music, and Joe got to sit behind his kit. We brought Joe in. He's one of our big. It became a good friend of ours. Let's just say he's a great friend. He's actually sat in while I was in the hospital on the show. But Joe is a drummer, and he got to sit there. He is right there. There's Joe. But he got to sit behind Todd's kit, and he was so excited about that and everything. And this is Joe. You need to come out and see these guys. He's a percussionist.
Oh.
Yeah, you're on the 5th on Sunday. I'm talking about Sunday. You got to come out. You got to come out and hear this percussion, Joe. You're gonna love it, man. It's really well worth your time. Yeah, we'll get him out here. We'll get it. Again, thank you, Absolute Vodka, our sponsor. Absolute Vodka's live at the Landis podcast every Tuesday from 7 to 9, maybe a little bit longer depending on how we feel. And of course, Michael Kelly Guitars, Uncle Steve, and his amazing guitars, and this new prototype that they sent over for
Gorgeous,
us. Let me
man.
grab that real quick, Steve, just real quick before we go off. I don't know what it's called yet. All I can tell you is it's a beautiful hollow body guitar. This is the prototype. Oop, I'm going to put it over here a little bit more. Once I find out what the hell it's called and exactly what they're doing here, because as you can tell, it's got a humbucker, it's got a single down here. It's again, like Steve said, you can separate them. Yep. It's got the telly bridge. This is going to be nice, man. This is going to be real sweet. I can't wait to hear it and hear more about it and exactly what. Of course,
the other one's double hummers, right?
Yeah, it's double.
Through.
Yep. So this is going to be a lot of fun to listen to and play, and I'm excited to hear about Steve, who designs all these things, about what he had in mind with this guitar. And I kind of got an idea. It's one of those buy one and as a guitar, especially if you're in a cover band, this is a guitar. No matter what song you're playing, this is the guitar to play that song.
I believe that's what they're going
Yeah,
for.
and I think that's more what this is for. For like if you're in a cover band, you don't have to change guitars every 5 minutes. Yeah. And God, it's so beautiful, man.
Need that moldable sound, yeah.
Yeah, but that is actually the prototype of it. And
tuners.
Yep. And I think we might end up giving that away at some point. Maybe even when Flashback comes in, we might.
It looks very signable.
Yeah, I think we might do that.
Very signable.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, when Uncle Steve there comes, his band Radio Flashback will be back, and maybe what we'll do is we'll talk him into it's a one of a kind prototype. Maybe we'll get those guys to sign it, and we'll give it away that night. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. All right. Again, thank you. There he is. What a fucking rock star, man. Talk about a guy who knows everybody in the industry. He's amazing. Again, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to everyone that tunes in later. We hope you enjoy the show. We cannot wait for this weekend. If tickets are available for all these shows, please get out here. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's a venue that's unlike a lot of other venues. And guys, I appreciate your love for the venue as well, because we put a lot into it, and we have some changes coming that I'm hopefully within the next month or so we can discuss. That I think is going to be a lot more fun. We're adding to the experience here. It's going to be a little bit crazy around here. It's going to even get better and better all the time. So,
hey Ray, you know what? We've been looking for an end phrase. I think the ideas start here. Should be a good one.
No, that sucks.
Everything happens for a reason.
I will let you know. Don't
I could see you making
ever,
yours. Everything happens. For a
ever
reason.
try to get him to agree to something. That's
Never will.
day.
Never will.
Don't ever.
I think
you got to bring that up 2 weeks ago.
I came up with one already, and it is. Thank you, and smell my balls. That you're supposed to fucking turn us off. Good night, everyone.
Babe, I really tried to be there for you right there. I didn't nail it. I really tried.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. Can you dig it?